Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm answering your YouTube questions, and it's not just me. Today I am joined by my brother from the same mother, D. D, what's up, man?
What is going on? Are we ever going to answer anything other than YouTube questions?
Yeah, I guess if somebody asks like something about a movie, maybe, or
Social
something
media?
like that, or maybe somebody's like, hey, I'm trying to get this app in my phone. I guess we could answer that one. Yeah,
We could probably bring in a larger audience if we just said, today
Totally
I'm
we
answering
could.
your social media questions.
totally we could. Yep. But my lane is YouTube, and I like that lane.
All right, there you have it.
There we have it, folks.
I'll be
If
answering
you
your
are
social
watching on the
media questions.
replay, If you are watching on the replay, I do want to let you know that we add timestamps to this. So because of that, if you do have, if you just want to see the content that you are getting ready to get into here and some of the questions that we are answering, make sure that you look down in the description or at the bottom of the video player right now, and you'll see, everything is sectioned out per question that is being asked today or answered today. So you can skip through and find, the content that matters the most to you based on the things that you want to know. And for everybody that's hanging out here live and for the replay, I also want to let everybody know that today's stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, which is the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. TubeBuddy will help you optimize your videos for discovery. They help you test your thumbnails so you can make sure the thumbnails that you're making are effective for the people and the traffic sources that you are trying to reach. Also, they have 90 different other tools that will help you with your YouTube channel. They have AI tools that will help you with titles. They have AI tools that actually look at your content and suggest parts of your pre-existing content that you can cut out into shorts based on how viewers have responded to those areas and so on. But a lot of super helpful tools that you should at least try as a content creator so you can see how it can help you. You can try that for yourself at tubebuddy.com. And of course, if you do the /Nimmin after it, then I'll get credit for sending you over there as well, which, I appreciate. In addition to that, this stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard, which is the live streaming tool that we use to live stream this every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And we use StreamYard because their mugs are fantastic.
We do. We use StreamYard because of these glorious mugs. And I just realized I need a sound effect.
Oh, like
so so it's like today's show is also brought to you by StreamYard.
that's good. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Super cheesy, but that would be great.
That would be
StreamYard.
great. Yeah.
With the coaster.
Yeah, we can make one of them up. I've actually made one of those for one of their videos before.
Really?
So I have that somewhere.
But is it a mallard duck?
It's a whack. That's all it's just a whack. Yeah.
I'm into authenticity.
But the reason that we use StreamYard is because it's easy to use. We use it for every single live stream. And, we like, stuff that's easy to use. In addition to that, they make it easy to put graphics on the screen like you see on the screen right now. They make it easy to bring guests on. They also have noise reduction in the audio. So if you're somebody that typically live streams in an environment that maybe is a little bit louder than you would like, or you get a lot of type of sound coming through your microphone, StreamYard will help you take care of that and reduce that for you. They even record your live streams in the background, so you don't have to put all that extra weight on your computer. They do it on their end, so after your stream is complete, you can just go in and download your streams, so then you can repurpose them or use them in any way that you like as well. And they even have the option to sample out shorts also, or vertical content, so you can use it in that way when it comes to repurposing as well. But super helpful tool. You can find more information about that and try it for yourself at StreamYard.com. And of course, I've got a direct URL that you can see on the screen right there as well, that if you go to that one, then of course that gives me credit too.
I actually use StreamYard to do a stream on Rumble.
Oh, nice.
I was trying to learn Rumble's system, and I did a test stream.
Oh, nice.
And you can stream on Rumble, which was kind of cool too.
Oh, nice. Maybe we should multicast over there.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, might as well.
We can set that up for sure.
Yeah, heck yeah. Let's give that a shot for, maybe next week we'll multicast over there.
Yep, there you go.
So with all that stuff out of the way, so if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that we are, we answer YouTube questions. We do these in the order that they come in. So if somebody comes in and, they have a question that they have, all you have to do to get that question answered is make sure that you go down to the form that is linked down in the description of this stream right now. Put your question in there, and we answer them in the order that they're received. If you put your question in there now, it'll get answered today based on how many responses that we currently have. But they're filling up fast, so make sure that if you have a question that you get it in there, right now. So with all that out of the way, I think, hey Mark, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing fantastic. Shark Scrapper, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Motaz Network. Welcome to the Niminati. Welcome to the channel membership. Make sure that when you get the chance, you go to niminvip.com. I'm going to put it on the screen for you here. Go to niminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members-only Facebook group if that's something that you're interested in. And all you have to do is fill out the information on the way in, because I use that to verify that you are a channel member. And if you can do that before the stream is over today, then I can get you in there after the stream is complete. So, with all that out of the way, D, you have you had a good week? You excited to get in the stream rolling today?
Yeah, I've had a great week. I've been playing with a lot of AI tools
me
since
too.
your last video. And I'm just going to let everybody know, if you are sleeping on some of the AI tools available, just in terms of general creativity and in terms of trying to speed up your workflow, if you're not taking advantage of this, you're missing out.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
are missing out. Just in terms, just generalizations of like, I'm just trying to come up with some ideas. I'm just trying to think of something creative to do with shorts. I'm trying to think of just a way to speed up the workflow and come up with YouTube ideas. There's an AI tool for everything now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me know in the chat, are you using any AI tools to just increase your workflow or just brainstorm on stuff? I keep ChatGPT on my phone just for ideas.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've got this idea. Give me 20 different versions of it.
Oh, nice.
And it's really good at like workshopping those ideas and making me, I never thought about using that word. That's a great word.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, fantastic.
It is.
stuff.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
Definitely using that stuff. Definitely removes the brain power, but
Yeah.
man, it comes up with some really, really good stuff.
Removes the brain power.
Yeah. Because then all you got to do is get creative in your in the questions that you ask, which does require some additional brain power in some cases. But you can even ask it what questions that you want to ask it based around the thing that you're trying to figure out.
You still have to know what's good though.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah,
That's the
you gotta be
whole
able to
thing with
identify
any
it.
of the AI tools. You still have to understand that, that's good, and you have to understand why it's good.
Yeah.
So before you go and rely too heavily on AI, you have to understand the process first and learn what is good and learn what your audience might respond to.
And hey, really quick, I do want to remind everybody, if you look at the very top of the chat right now, so I think it was last week, we had a conversation about Epidemic Sound. I haven't watched Doug's video yet, but I know it's awesome just because Doug puts out amazing content. And he, likes to be well informed before he publishes something and things like that. So I'm sure he's researched this extensively. But right at the very top of the chat right now, he has a video warning content creators about some things with Epidemic Sound that you should know about. So just make sure that you check that video out so that you can, just be informed if you are somebody that uses Epidemic Sound, so you can know some of the issues that you might run into, with their service. They have awesome music and, sound effects and all that stuff. But, some content creators are having some issues, but his video breaks down the whole thing, so you can just make sure that you're aware of that if you are somebody that uses Epidemic Sound.
I have not watched that yet. I'm looking forward to it.
So hey, really quick, super chat from David
chat.
Matney. What's going on, David? Hope you're doing awesome, man. Says, D, what are the top 3 AI tools you're using, or what is the AI tool that's most helpful?
So I'd say the most helpful in terms of just workshopping on title ideas and just trying to summarize the way I'm trying to communicate with something would be ChatGTP. I've got it on my phone. Currently, they're not charging anybody for free usage on your phone. Make sure you get the actual app from OpenAI. I know there's I think on Android, there's some apps that are trying to pretend to be OpenAI, but they're not OpenAI. But I keep that on my phone. I keep it on my desktop at home. I'm using Midjourney. Just for another project that we're working on. And now recently we were just playing with this today in the Video Leap app. I know you've seen videos on my channel. If you're familiar with my channel, I've done videos with Video Leap. They've added AI to that. So you can put your videos into it. You can put photos into it. It will recharacterize you inside of there for your videos. It can change your backgrounds. It's just unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, some of the stuff that's happening with AI video right now, it's just insane. I've got a video coming out this coming week about
That's Kaiser.
tools.
You're using Kaiser for that, right?
Yeah, it's Kyber.
Kyber,
Yeah.
sorry, Kyber.
But I'll probably, now that you've brought me to light on the Video Leap thing, I'll probably mention that in there as well, because I'd like to show you some variations so people can use, because not everybody's going to be on a computer. So then that way it opens it up, a little bit more, for people that are on phones too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you definitely want to make sure that you check out that video when it comes out, because it's really interesting, some of the stuff that you can do. I spent my evening last night making a music video, which has turned out to be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
So it's not finished yet, but I'll be posting it on TikTok once it is, and it's pretty incredible. So make sure you follow me over on TikTok if you're not already.
Yeah, I would say this. So Midjourney and the Video Leap, Video AI, and all and the ones that he's talking about, those are creative in terms of video and images. In terms of just general productivity and use and brainstorming, ChatGTP.
Yeah.
Put that on your phone. Put that on your phone and just use it as an assistant to where you can say, hey, this is my video idea. Give me 10 titles.
Yep.
Okay, make them a little bit more news headline-like. And then you can say, oh, too much, back it off a little bit. And then just, it's really, really great at coming up with ideas. I love it.
And also after the video on the on how you can change yourself using AI in your videos, another video that's on the list after that one is also going to be AI tools. So make sure you keep an eye out for that one too, because it's going to be about creator focused AI tools.
Yeah, before we move on,
Yeah.
I just want to say that we're about to we're in the infancy.
Oh,
As
yeah.
amazing
Yeah,
as
it's
it
about
is,
to
we
get
are
out
in
of
the
control.
infancy. You are about to be bombarded with a ton of creator AI tools.
Yeah.
So when you see them coming out, jump on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So next, or the very first question that we have
Got
today,
another,
super chat. iFun Chris says, "Hey from California, what's going on, Chris?
Right on.
Hello from California. Hello from Thailand.
Yeah.
Man about tech, Viper in the house.
What's up, Viper?
I got to get the soundbite over here because I have a soundbite for
don't
when he
have
comes
it.
in. Yeah, I got to get that over here since we're streaming over here now.
Yep.
So what's up, dude? Hope you're doing fantastic. Looking forward to seeing you here in a couple months at Vid Summit. Nomadic Introvert, thanks for the super chat. Says, over the last few months, I've noticed my channel views have dropped. My views have always remained the same for over a year. Nothing has changed with my videos. Is YouTube making changes? So YouTube is continually making changes. They're always updating everything. Basically, their system, it changes in real time based on the content that's being published to the channel, and it's prioritizing the content that performs well and all of those things. So what can happen is, if you've been putting out, content for a while, you can have content that's been doing, great for a period of time. And there might be somebody new in your space that's coming in and kind of, eating some of that pie. There might be 5 people in your space that are, that are coming up that are, eating some of that pie. Within that, the videos could just have age on them. And because of that, new content that is, similar in topic could also be getting prioritized there. All kinds of different things could be happening there. But the very first thing that I would do is I would try to figure out exactly what happened with your views dropping. So what you can do to figure out, where the drop came from is if you go into your traffic sources, you stretch your date range over let's say the last 90 days or the last 28 days if it just happened last week. And then you'll actually see the line chart right there. And you can actually see, you can select browse, suggested, and search. And you can see oh, right here's where I fell off, right? So then you can start to understand what happened. So in a lot of cases, there's not, a lot that you can do outside of, updating the packaging, things like that. But even with that, it could just be that you're having a lull right now and, everything could end up, just kind of getting back to normal after you get through this lull, because that happens as well. So when, the numbers dip like that, it's not necessary to go and just immediately start changing everything. Just kind of ride it out for a little bit. And just remember though, that, when you're publishing new content, that's, taking priority. But then outside of that, the content that, performs the best against other content is, of course, always going to get their priority as well. And Xavier, Ray, and Glenn, welcome to the Niminati, the channel membership. Make sure when you get the chance, if the Facebook group is something that you're interested in, make sure when you get the chance, you go to niminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members-only Facebook group. Fill out everything on the way in, all the questions that I ask there to verify that you're a channel member, because we double-check that before we let people in. So so just make sure that you do that sometime before the stream's over today, if you can, and then we can get you in there once the stream is complete today.
Was that Nomadic Introverts or Introvert super chat that you just read?
Yes.
Okay. Missed it.
So the first question that we have here is from King CMC TV, and this one's coming from the forum. And just as a reminder, if you are just joining us, if this is your first time here, we are pulling the questions from the forum that is down in the description of the video right now. So if you have a question, make sure that you put it down there. But King CMC TV, every now and then we'll pull them out of the chat too, just as a heads up. So if something's really unique or something like that, and we happen to notice it in the chat, then in that case, sometimes we'll jump on those too. Brad, Magic Flying Potato, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Better Mind Journey, nice to see you in here. King CMC TV is our first question here. They do gaming content, and the goal of the channel is to monetize. And the question is, how should I put Amazon's affiliate links in my description the correct way? I'm going to start doing this today. Also, I have a banner on my YouTube page. I want to change it to a picture of me and my controller and my channel name. I play Apex Legends, but mostly this week, I want to start playing different games because Apex is falling off. How should I put my channel banner to let people I know I play different games or I'm a gaming channel? So we're going to focus on one question here, and that question is going to be about the affiliate links. So when it comes to affiliate links in your video descriptions, there's a couple things you want to think about. And one, this can apply to Amazon. This can also apply to anything that you promote as an affiliate. But the very first thing that you need to know about is legalities with adding those things. So one of the things that the FTC, or Federal Trade Commission, requires is, because the YouTube is a U.S. company, it doesn't matter where you're uploading from, you still need to put affiliate disclaimers in your video descriptions if you have people in the U.S. that are watching your videos. So because of that, if you're going to be promoting something specifically from Amazon, they have very specific language they want you to use. So what you want to do is you want to Google Amazon affiliate disclaimer is the thing that you want to Google, or the specific word you want to put there. And then you're going to get, the options of what it is that you want to, or what you need to put in there to be compliant with them. And then when it comes to everything else, then from there you can just use FTC's rules on that one. And all you got to do there is just go to Google and type in FTC affiliate disclosure, and then you'll get more information on that from there. But the whole idea with that is you just have to put that disclaimer, that disclosure down there, so that when people are interacting with your content, they know that there might be some incentive there, because some people will promote things that they like and enjoy and that they use themselves. Other people will just promote whatever just for the sake of trying to get sales. So because of that, they put these requirements in place in order to protect consumers and to make everything more difficult for everybody. But when it comes to,
I think that's so weird, just from like a global perspective. If
Yeah.
you have, it's kind of like the European laws
Right.
for emails and stuff like that.
I think it's dumb, because
yeah.
it's like, okay, well, hey, this is our consumer protection stuff. Well, like, how about you ban Coca-Cola? What about that? If you want to protect consumers, ban Coca-Cola.
Do you have any
ban birthday cake?
Do you have any more whataboutisms?
Right.
Or are we gonna?
Well, hey, but it's the thing though, right? It's like
No, it is.
you can't halfway do one thing and then like go hard on something else when it comes to like protecting consumers.
We're trying to protect consumers,
Right?
And then like there's all of this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Ban
Yeah,
cigarettes.
it's pretty
What about
ridiculous.
that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. But anyway, so another thing you want to think about too when it comes to promoting something as an affiliate from your YouTube channel is
How about we just ban TikTok?
oh no.
Let's just ban TikTok, the Chinese spy app.
But what
I don't want my information going to Beijing. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
This is Alex Jones impression. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But another thing when it comes to affiliate marketing that you also want to think about is we were actually doing a channel review stream on the TubeSpanner YouTube channel yesterday, which everybody here should be subscribed to as well if you want to be a part of like the channel review things that we do. But basically on that one of the things that I kept running into, and I run into this every single time I do channel reviews, no matter what, is that people will put links to, like, let's say they'll have like a channel about crafting as an example, or something like
Nook
that.
is in here.
Yep. They'll have a channel about crafting, and their description will have links to like all the equipment that they use to make their YouTube videos, right? Now, the problem with that is, yes, it's better than not having anything down there. However, you got to think about the people that are interacting with your content, because if somebody is watching a video on like making stuff out of like yarn, for example, then in that particular case, a lower percentage of the people that are watching your videos are going to be making videos for the internet compared to the amount of people that are watching your videos that are going to be interested in yarn and all the things that people are using to make to make stuff out of yarn. So because of that, what you want to think about is like, okay, the people that are watching my videos, what can I put down there, even if it's just like a little block of things that you typically use, what I put down there that's going to be the most relevant to the most amount of people that are interacting with my content. So for example, if you're a gamer, put links to any special controllers that you use, put links to mouse pads that you use, put your PC specs down there if you're a PC gamer, and put links to Amazon for all the different parts. If you are doing it on a PlayStation, then put links down there to PlayStation accessories like the covers that you can put on them, things like that, controllers, all of that good stuff. But the idea is just to, okay, and if you're a crafter, right, let's say if you are doing yarn, then all the stuff down there should be for things that are doing that. If you're a woodworker and people are interacting with your content as a woodworker, then in that case, all the things down there need to be related to the things that people can use that are watching your content. So it's like, hey, this is all the stuff that I use. Like, this is my core toolkit, right? And you link to that stuff down there because it's relevant to those viewers. So you want to make sure that you're thinking that you're thinking about that as well.
Super chat.
TubeSpanner in the house. What's up, Danielle? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Hey, do you know Claire's getting married? Yeah, she's getting married, I think, next week.
Really?
Yeah, Claire's getting married next week. So,
hey, Claire.
yeah, congratulations, Claire, on your coupling.
Yeah.
Yep. Congratulations. But Danielle says, or Tube Spanner says, after I broke up with my short boyfriend, he started a YouTube channel dedicated to trashing me. I said, well, that's a little extreme. Got it. I say, ba-doom. Yeah. I love like the because it's it's about YouTube, so like I love the like forcing of like the content stuff in there. It's good. It's good. So next up we've got Ross Neum. Ross Neum says they upload when they have time. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a tech channel. The goal of the channel is to find people to chat about Google phone news with. All Google phone. Okay. The question is, at the moment, I can't make videos on a regular schedule. Is it best to post the videos as and when I finish them, or wait until I have 3 videos that I can post weekly? So I recommend a schedule, right? So I recommend that you post on a schedule. So like, for example, if you have one video, then say, okay, I'm going to post that video on Monday. What?
Can you want to tilt that back a little bit? You're getting glare in your glasses.
Tilt what? All this?
Yeah, your screen is
yeah, just
there it is. Oh, nope.
Yeah, but then I can't see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you normally don't have that.
Yeah, let me just turn down my brightness.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Is that better?
Finished. Yep, done.
Right. So thanks for the heads up.
Yep.
So when you are creating your content, you're trying to be consistent. The very first thing is to just pick a day of the week, and like that's going to be your upload day. And then from there, just say, okay, I'm just going to start uploading on this day. And if you miss one or whatever, that's fine. Just skip that one and then publish on that day the next time. And just kind of rinse and repeat that process. And there's going to be periods where you'll be like, hey, maybe I can squeeze in an extra video this week. Then in that particular case, instead of publishing it, just add it to the queue of that day that you're going to be publishing. And then rinse and repeat that over time. And then hopefully, if you can get some extra wins in here and there, then it will get you ahead a little bit, so then you can kind of relax and not have to stress out about it. And you can just enjoy, the process of creating instead of being in a rush to create stuff so that you can hit deadlines and so on.
You got something right here.
Okay. There we go. How's that? Oh, okay.
You get your
Now
glasses.
he's trolling me. Yeah, that's great.
And by the way, I just want to let everybody know, we normally do not have caffeine on the desk. Just let you know how we're rolling today. Mm-hmm. It's been a long day.
Has.
Yeah. It's been a long day. I just want to
longer night,
point
I
out.
guess it would be.
What's
yeah,
that?
well, I guess it would be a long day from waking up early.
Yeah.
So yeah, long day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bearded Iron is our next question here. They
sleepy is what we're trying to
sleepy.
say.
Yep. Bearded Iron. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do fitness content. The goal of the channel is weight loss for busy dads and men in their 30s and 40s.
That is targeted.
Yep. Perfect.
That's very targeted. I love it.
Question is, hey, Nick, great content as always. Thank you. I've heard that you mentioned before that this is a common problem for people who went viral in their early journey. My second ever video went viral, and I got thousands of new subscribers.
Wow.
Since that video's life cycle has now gone, I'm finding it difficult to grow my channel. I currently have 5,300 subs, but I've gained and also lost around 800 subs in the last 3 months, so the channel feels stagnated as that total number hasn't moved for a while. My core audience watch all my videos, but I often feel like I'd do better if all of those who subbed to the viral video would unsubscribe, as they are no longer engaging with my content, which kills my CTR. If my subs aren't interested in my videos, is my channel doomed? So here's the thing. First off is if you had a video do substantially better than your other videos, but it's still in alignment with the people that you're trying to reach, then in that case, it doesn't work against you. The place where it works against you is where you make something that's like a little bit outside of what you normally do, or maybe a lot outside of what you normally do, and that does well. Yeah. Then in that particular case, then you're growing your channel around the wrong audience, and because of that, there can definitely be like an adjustment period there. And also, if you have content that where, if it's like, hey, this particular video is something that was like, a timely event, and because of that, it opened it up to, a broader amount of people, but my content doesn't really serve those people because I'm like extremely niche, then in that case it can also work against you in that way. But keep in mind, when you are publishing your content, YouTube will quickly figure out also, like when you publish your videos, it'll test it against, a lot of those people. Yeah. But as soon as they stop responding, then, those people aren't going to be tested against, that much. So it's not going to, be like a long period of time. So what I would look for instead right now is I would actually go in and I would just start comparing your videos against each other and just start seeing like, okay, am I doing something differently? Am I using, a different style with my thumbnails? Am I formatting my titles differently? Am I formatting my videos differently? Also look at yourself. Like, okay, am I communicating communicating differently. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like when I first started, maybe I was, you know, a little bit more like shy and nervous about making videos, and people responded to that because I felt, you know, natural. Whereas now I'm like really good at it. And because of that, you know, it's a little bit too polished, and maybe, you know, people just aren't responding to that. So I would definitely, you know, look at those types of things as well, and just compare, you know, what's happening currently to what happened in the past, and see if you can, you know, locate, you know, the issue that you're having. But, you know, keep in mind, you know, when it comes to, you know, growing like subscribers and things like that, you know, fortunately, you know, you did have that video to where, you know, you were able to grow, you know, a subscriber base off of it. It's just hopefully, you know, those people are, you know, in alignment with what it is that you still make.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make that mistake, especially with their long form content and the short form content.
Yeah.
I've seen that countless times where they're focused on one thing, and he has a very clear value proposition about what his channel is about.
You know what?
But
I think
then
I know what the problem is here. Actually, I'm going to
maybe right, but then they go to shorts, and then they start uploading some stuff that's just not in alignment with their long. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying it's a mistake I see a lot. They start thinking, oh, it's shorts. I'm going to put something up here that's just fun.
Yeah, I remember this. I know what happened. So basically, what happened is he grew his channel. The video that did well, it's got almost 1 million views on it from last year, or from a year ago. But it was a body transformation video. And then now his videos are more about like helping other people, you know, through the weight loss.
Okay.
So basically he grew the audience based on something that was just general topic interesting.
There you go.
Versus,
He went broad.
Yeah. Versus,
Yeah.
you know, like, hey, this is for, you know, this dedicated, you know, group of people.
Okay.
So yeah, in that particular case, you know, you did that thing that, you know, that we're talking about where, you know, you grew the, you know, like that big group of people came from like a one-off video, but they were there for that, found that interesting, and they like subscribed, like, hey, we support this, nice work on your journey and all of that.
Yeah.
But they're not actually interested in your content. So because of that, you know, keep in mind, like, you know, the thing, and I'm not recommending that you do this, but one thing people do in this situation is, like if they're already in the partner program, things like that, is some people will actually take those videos down if it's like wildly different. I don't think, in your case, I don't think you should do that, because even though, you know, what you offer now is more about like, you know, here's how you can do it too. This is still similar to that. And because of that, right, it's still fitness related, and it's showing your progress, which can be inspiring, you know, for the people that are looking at your channel and that are, you know, learning from you. But, you know, on the other side of that, just keep in mind, like if this one's still getting any type of activity, then in that case, you know, this could also bring people in that are like, hey, this is great. It's inspiring. Let me subscribe and then come and start watching this channel, which is another thing that could have happened too. Where, you know how it is, New Year's, everybody's like, let's go get fit. And then, you know, like come January 5th, everybody's, you know, back to eating pizza and like not going to the gym anymore. So like, you know, not calling you out, D. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like, that took me a little, you know.
Felt personal.
That felt personal.
It wasn't. I was talking about myself. But the you know, whole thing is, you know, you could be running into that too, where they had the intention of being on board, but you know, maybe they left. But what I recommend that you do though is I would just get really focused on, you know, the strategy of publishing videos as like series. So basically, instead of just looking at it like, hey, what video can I make this week and let me publish this one about, you know, weight loss, like go for a wide view and say like, okay, over the next 90 days, these are the videos that I'm going to publish on the channel. How are they going to relate to each other? How can I, you know, make it to where, you know, this video that I'm going to be publishing first is going to be relevant to the video I'm going to be posting second, and so on, so that it'll make sense for people to come back. Because what you need to do right now is you need to just get people coming back to the channel, right? So because of that, I would just kind of look at your content calendar right now over the next 90 days. Just look at it as like a blank slate and start thinking to yourself like, okay, if I were starting this channel at like ground zero without all of that virality attached to it, then how can I put together content that would basically, you know, cause people to hop from video to video based on it topically? So since you are doing fitness, you know, the very first thing could be like, you know, the health benefits of like losing weight or something like that. And I'm just, you know, spitballing here. You definitely need to research the exact topics and really think it through. But basically the first one could be like about diet. The second one could be about, you know, how to easily get started. The second one could be, you know, about, you know, things to avoid when you're getting started in this process. The next one after that could be like, hey, we're starting this challenge as a community. So, you know, because of that, you know, hit the comment section, let me know if you're in on this challenge. Let's do this together. And then you kind of, you know, build it out that way, or technically that could even be your first video. But, you know, the whole idea is to come up with some type of strategy to try to get people to watch one video and then come back and watch the next one and so on, so that you can kind of rebuild that audience for the content.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Major DIY says, in description, I put store link where you can buy, thanks for the super chat, by the way, says I put a store link where you can buy a product. I got a strike for spam and community guidelines. I disputed it, but no response from YouTube. What now? So the very first thing to do, as long as, everything is legitimate and it's not, some like shady link or whatever, then in that particular case, I would hop on Twitter or X, I guess we call it now.
Man.
That's so stupid.
Okay.
But hold on, let's get through this first.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but I would hop on whatever it is you want to call it, Twitter or X, and at Team YouTube. We can still over there, right? Yeah, so at Team YouTube over there, and let them know the problem that you're having, because in some cases things are automated or they're looked at by a person still in the reviews. But if you at them, in some cases they can escalate it or get it in front of different people that in some cases can get that kind of thing taken care of. So that would be the next course of action.
Yeah, a lot of times you just need a human to take a look at it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, even if they come back to you and they say, we've had a look and it violated our policies, don't stop.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Reach out again. Try to get someone else to look at it, because sometimes, no shade towards YouTube, but I've seen some crazy stuff where they say, well, it's clearly in violation, and it's not in violation of anything.
Right.
So just make sure you get a couple people to look at it. Don't give up so easily.
Yeah.
We have a question here from Meet Orophile. He says, can my videos monetize with Creator Mix music? Yes, you can. You can absolutely monetize all of your videos with Creator Mix music. That's the whole point of it.
Yep.
Knock yourself out.
Yep.
We just appreciate it if you can give us some credit in the description.
Yep. Just let people know.
Yeah, and by the way, if anybody's using our music and you have any questions, there's an entire FAQ area on the actual CreatorMix.com website. You can answer pretty much any question you can think of there, and if not, reach out through the support form there, and I'll get you taken care of.
Yep. Okay, so next up on the list, we've got the type of channel is a variety channel. The channel name is Samples and Tests. That's cool.
That sounds very scientific.
It does. The goal of the channel is to continue to grow. The question is, on desktop, I've gone to several channels, short tab, and it may only show 3 to 4 shorts listed, but if I refresh the page, all or more shorts appear. Have you ever experienced this? Is it a common problem that viewers could be missing some of the creator's content? By the way, I've tested this on several computers and with different browsers. So, all of this stuff is like server based. So, there's like everything is being bounced off of like CDNs, like all over the world, like content delivery networks, like all over the world and things like that. So, you're going to run into bugs like that, from time to time on YouTube. Sometimes it'll be something that'll last for a while. Other times, it'll be something that they'll, resolve quickly. Sometimes it can be like a caching problem on your computer or one of the devices, but you said that you've, done it across multiples. But like, let's say, for example, if you have like Chrome, but then your Chrome is synced across all of your devices, then, that can also, cause some, issues there. So it could be on YouTube side, could be on your side, who knows? But like in terms of YouTube having bugs, that definitely happens. Like with any website or service or product or whatever on the internet, anything computer based, even computers, you're going to run into problems like that from time to time.
Just recently, my own channel, it was only showing half of my shorts that were there.
Interesting.
So yeah, bugs absolutely happen, and they squash those as soon as they come up. Side note here, I see a lot of people talking about they use Creator Mix music.
Nice.
Fun thing, we've got 32,000 users now in Creator Mix.
Nice.
32,000 of you are using the music.
Nice.
So
Love
thank you.
it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, glad you're enjoying the music.
Yeah.
New music is coming, but because it's a passion project, we don't actually make money on that.
Right.
So as a passion project, we get to it when we can, but new music is coming.
Next up, we've got Aperture Movement. Aperture Movement uploads when they have time. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do entertainment/informative content. Goal of the channel is right now to entertain and give information. And the question is, I'm working in transitioning my channel, also planning to change my channel name. My current channel is a mix of entertainment videos with a mix of information about college videos. I'm doing a complete makeover to my channel. My question is, should I keep my current videos on my channel or should I delete them? My new content will have nothing to do with the topics of my current channel. Really, I would just start a new channel. Like I would just leave the stuff that you have, where it is, that's already on the channel. And then I would just say, you know what, I'm just going to start a new channel. And then that way you are giving yourself just a fresh start. And then really like when you publish your first videos and things like that, on new channels, sometimes they can get like shown around a little bit and all of that. So because of that, yeah, I would start with a new channel. If it was mine, I would just start with a new channel.
I want to clarify something because sometimes I say something and it sounds like I meant something else.
Okay.
I didn't mean we don't make money with Creator Mix. we're not running a profit on Creator Mix.
Right.
Right. The money that's being made through streaming services just kind of pay the bills for hosting and CDNs and email, all that stuff. Just wanted to clarify that so somebody doesn't clip this and go, they clip it and then like, what's his Spotify account?
Oh yeah, right.
You liar.
Right. Yeah. Do you know who
facts matter?
Do you know who Alex Hormozy is?
Yeah.
So he always, one of his things that he said for a while is, I'm not trying to sell you anything.
Right.
But then he made one video. He's like, I apologize because people came at him because he had a book for sale.
He has that in his header. I think in his YouTube header.
Yeah,
or something.
It wasn't something that he was like promoting or anything like that. But because he did have something available that people can buy, people like were coming at him for it. So he's like, okay, fine, I've got this thing that you can get, but I'm not actually trying to like sell it. And
well, the internet, the way that it is, that's why I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, right. You got to be safe. Right. You got to be careful these days.
After I said that, I was like, well, I didn't mean we're not actually making money. I mean, we're like profiting on it. So like, yeah. Hey, you got a super chat.
So Trainer James, thank you for the super chat, says this may be a dumb question, but what's the best way to use a community tab? So first, that's not a dumb question. In fact,
great question.
That's a really good question. So when it comes to using your YouTube community tab, here's a couple of things that you want to make sure that you keep in mind. One is that your community tab is a place where people or your viewers can actually be reintroduced to your content to where you can pull them back into what it is that you're doing. In addition to that, that's also a way that people can just engage with your channel when they're not watching your videos. So it's a community tab, right? So that you can, kind of foster the community there. But when it comes to using the community tab, some things that you want to make sure that you're thinking about is one, when it comes to activity there, typically polls will get the most response. And the idea there is because people can just click a button and then it's done, right? Questions also get, high engagement in your community feed. Images, where you show things like behind the scenes of, maybe something that you're working on or videos that you're working on, things like that. Those also get a lot of engagement. However, when it comes to posting videos there, you can also use that as a way to kind of breathe some fresh life into the videos that you have on your channel that have performed well in the past, but maybe they've kind of fallen off a little bit or something like that. So it's a great way to reintroduce that content. It's amazing content. It's just not getting the love that it used to because you have a bunch of more, new content that does better. So because of that, it's a great way to just kind of reintroduce people to some of that old content as well, or older content. And one of the things when it comes to your community tab is that a lot of people are afraid to share videos there because they're like, well, my subscribers are watching my videos already. But one thing to always remember is not every subscriber watches every video that you have, or not every viewer watches every video that you have. And because of that, reintroducing that content to some of those people is just one more great way to, serve them, but also to bring them back into your channel and possibly create, additional binge watching sessions and things like that, or at least have them interacting with your content. And another advantage of that is when you are getting people to watch videos in your community tab, the way that YouTube works is if people come in and they start watching your content, let's say they're just, logging to YouTube on their phone or whatever, they see your community post with you sharing a video that you are recommending to them because other people liked it, and then they click into that video, they watch that video, and they're like, wow, this is pretty good. And then they go and they watch another one of your videos, then maybe they watch another one of your videos. Then in that particular case, that shows YouTube, hey, this person's really into this content again. And then that can increase the likelihood of YouTube recommending more of your content to them in the future as well. So there's like that higher level, reason for doing it as well. But keep in mind when you are posting videos in your community feed, one of the things that it's going to look like is that the videos themselves get less engagement compared to everything else. It's going to be like, man, it's like crickets when I post a video. But what's actually happening is that engagement is just transferring through to the actual video content itself, right? So you want to make sure that you're looking in the stats of that actual video so that you can see the impact that the community post is having on that piece of content.
Awesome.
Roberto Blake in the house, my man. What's going on? Hope that you're doing
Roberto.
Fantastic. Says, I've been thinking of making an entire video about the community tab. The community tab is also a literal money printer with me with product promotion. Yeah, the community tab is great. I've got a video, I think on this channel. I think I've got another one over on the Tube Spanner channel. But yeah, like when it comes to the community tab, like it's a feature on YouTube that is massively undervalued, in my opinion, because people look at it like, oh, it's just I'm just posting stuff over there. But it's like, no, if you use it, it's a great way to just have additional conversations or just get people to engage with what it is that you're doing.
I've found that if I try to make posts,
hope you're doing awesome, Roberto.
Regular, like I'm like, okay, I gotta make a community post. Like I just don't do it. I forget about it. the most effective I've ever been with community posts is when I've sat down and I scheduled them out for an entire month. You can do that. You can schedule your community posts, and that is a game changer. You can schedule them out as far as you want because I forget about it. That is a tool. It is an overlooked tool, and I always forget it. And like right now, I'm just like, no, why haven't I been using it? No. Even if you're not uploading videos, I could be posting right now about old videos. Right? Here's some old videos. Here's a playlist. Here's some other things that go on. I should be hitting that thing every couple of days, if not daily.
Right.
But nope.
Totally.
Nope, not doing it.
Yeah, and also non-subscribers can also see your community post as well. So you can actually get subscribers from your community posts also. Dynasty Trades in 5, thank you for the super chat. It says, can you guys speak to what you do after dropping a video? Currently, I go in and tweak in-screen, spread on the other socials, watch the analytics, and sometimes test and tweak the titles and thumbnails. Thoughts? So me, all I do is monitor. That's it. So when I publish it, I let YouTube do its thing. Every now and then, if it's something to where it's like, yeah, I know the people that follow me on Twitter are going to want to see this video, then in that case, I'll share it over there if it's like more of like a broad, video. And then one thing that I'll do usually a few days later, every now and then I'll do it right after the video, but for certain content that is more search friendly, I'll post those over on Pinterest as well. I'll just go and do that myself. And I do that so that I can optimize, the title and description and all that stuff, so that I can, possibly having it showing up in like Google search when people are looking for information about that video. So then I can basically have a video showing up from my YouTube channel directly in the video results in some cases, and then I also have a link from Pinterest, so that I have like 2 chances, and in some cases even more, of people coming into that particular video from like one search term. So that's a thing to do. But I do monitor. So one of the things that I keep an eye out in my case is I just look to see, based on different impression levels on my channel, or on the video, I look to see how people are responding, and if they're responding like way lower than the baseline, then in that case I might go in and update, maybe change a word or 2 in the title, or completely rewrite the title, or sometimes I'll change the thumbnail there. But I'll usually give it a little bit though, because sometimes it could just take it a little bit of time to get legs. So for example, that AI video that I published, which you guys need to watch.
Can you show on your phone the trajectory of that?
Yeah, I'm screenshotting that like every few hours when I'm awake, right? And I'm actually going to put together an animation so you can actually see the everything moving over time. Yeah, that's cool. But like in that one, for example, like when I first published it, my first thought was, I thought this would do better, right? But then I was like, D knew all, like I showed D before, anybody else got to see it. And D's like, oh, this is going to do great. Yeah. But I was like, wow, I thought they were going to respond better to this. And then all it took was just like an extra hour or 2 for things to get rolling. And then it, and it got moving.
The reason, so he sent me the first, was it like 30 seconds?
I did change the thumbnail though. It was last Saturday before we started this stream. I changed the thumbnail, and it was shortly after that it started moving, but it might have moved anyway, if I didn't change that.
You sent me about 30 seconds. Like the first 30 seconds.
The actual intro part.
Yeah. So he sends me the intro to this video, and I knew it was going to be a hit. I knew it would get legs and just skyrocket eventually, because I watched it about 20 times in a row. And then I came and got my girlfriend. I was like, you got to see this. my dummy brother just made this amazing thing.
Right. My dummy brother.
No, not really. I'm just.
I know.
No, I was like, you got to see what my brother just made. And then we watched it together a bunch of times. And I was like, this thing's amazing. And I was like, yeah, dude, this is gonna crush.
Yeah.
Hey, you missed
so life on YouTube and X says, is Twitter a banned word? No, definitely not a banned word.
No.
It's just that they changed the name. So since they changed the name, it's like,
You missed a message from 86. Remember, for 17 months. I got it on the screen right there.
Let me hop over here.
What is that showing up as?
Yeah, it's not showing up over here.
It's starred. I've got it up on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's on the screen, but that's real small on my end here.
Okay.
I see it now. Says, I asked this in the group, but was wondering if you could elaborate more on the first-time ad reads and common scams to avoid. Thank you for everything. So when it comes to sponsored videos, is what they're talking about there. The thing to avoid scams is just definitely make sure that, before, first, never download a PDF or zip file or anything like that. Next is you want to double-check the actual, Roberto's like, X going to give it to you, going with the DMX
reference.
My God.
I love it. I almost did it.
Did you?
I almost did it, and then Roberto, we got a copyright claim on.
I've seen. If they
right,
matched it,
I almost started doing it, and then I was like, oh, Roberto almost got me.
Cat Slade says, when I first joined the stream, I thought Nick had a mirror set up. No, definitely not. Welcome to the stream, though. But when it comes to
An AI brother.
yeah, but when it comes to your first brand deals, or really any time somebody's doing outreach like that, and you receive those emails, if you're not receiving them yet, down the road you will. But basically, what happens is companies will reach out to you through your email and your About Me page. So make sure that you do have that set up. A lot of content creators forget to do that. But on every About Me page on YouTube, you have a place where you can put your email address to where it's actually hidden behind a little button that says business inquiries. And then if somebody clicks on that, then it will expose your email address, and then they can send you an email if they want to work with you in some way. So make sure that you guys have that set up if you don't already. But basically, the things that you want to keep an eye out for is anybody wanting you to download anything. 2, make sure that if somebody's reaching out to you, for example, and I'm just going to use this one as a reference, like let's say Fiverr, then make sure that it's coming from Fiverr. Without question, by checking the email itself, by checking to make sure it's at Fiverr.com. But one of the things that you also want to make sure that you are, thinking about is that without question, there are agencies that, work on behalf of some of these companies. So because of that, it's perfectly okay to say, hey, as a security measure, because of all the channels getting hacked and things like that right now, is it possible that I could get an official email from somebody that's actually at that company? And then, they will go through the process of doing that. So just keep that in mind. But you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye out for that. Also, when they first reach you, right, when they first, ask or reach out to you asking for, a collaboration, if you think it's a great fit, and, especially if you're already using their products and stuff, if it's a great fit and you know that it's going to be a really good fit for your audience, try to work out like a multi-video deal. Because if you're just going like deal per deal per deal for like video per video per video, then it can keep you on a hamster wheel. And in some cases, like, content creators that do this professionally, that are constantly doing, brand deals, it's such a job that some people actually hire salespeople to do that job, and they work all day long, basically just getting deals. So because of that, you just want to make sure that you are, keeping that in mind, and that you are trying to work out longer term deals. And when you do that, it keeps you off the hamster wheel, right? So it keeps you off the hamster wheel. And in addition to that, it also gives continued exposure to that company with your audience, which also symbolizes that you like really back that company. It's not like, hey, I'm just doing this like deal for like, to get some money or whatever. It's like, hey, like I, back this company so much that I'm going to continually, I'm going to continue to talk about them over time. So, so that's kind of the idea. And a great, quick, tip here as well as Fretboard Diaries drops in the reminder that says, do not use your YouTube email in your business inquiries. That's very important. And it is because that is like a starting point for people trying to get access to your channel. So make sure if you do have, like if your YouTube channel is set up as, like fretboarddiaries@gmail.com, then in that particular case, instead of having that as the business inquiry email, you want to set up a different email account and then have it all going through there instead. That also helps keep everything like organized and nice and clean.
It's a shame
that we even got to deal with that stuff.
With all the other things that we have to deal with, right? We're like thinking about editing and communication, making thumbnails. We're looking at metrics. We're trying to have some sort of consistency when we're uploading content. Maybe we're on multiple, like we're doing so many things. We're wearing so many hats, and we have to worry about getting scammed and getting hacked at the same time.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, other things too. Like make sure you're also looking out for, like if you are an English speaking channel, if they send you an email and like the English is just a disaster, then that's usually a red flag too. Yes, they have foreign companies that will, reach out to you, but it's still, if they're a professional company, then they're at least running it through a grammar checker or something, right? Like they're trying to contact you in a legit way. So, just keep an eye out for those types of things.
Yeah, I also look out for just generic things.
Yeah.
Hey,
YouTuber.
Right. Hey, YouTuber. Yeah. Hey, creator.
Right.
Or it's like, hey, whatever, but like your name is bold.
Yeah.
To where they just like drop, Yeah, there's a lot of red flags.
Which is funny, too, on channels that don't have, like, the person's name.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, tech for you. How's it going?
Right.
Huh, it's kind of weird. Okay.
Pretty good.
Xavier.
Scammer.
Xavier, Ray, and Glenn.
No, here's how it is. Right, hey, tech for you. How you doing? Would you be interested in making an entire dedicated video? We'll send it to you. and you have 2 weeks to complete the video, we'll use the video for our own social media accounts, and you look at it, it's like worth like $19.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'll get right on that.
So really quick, we had another super chat here from Aperture Movement. Thank you for
I
the
didn't
super
see
chat.
that. Where did that one come
Says,
from?
I have 6 to 7 years of experience in my current career. Would it be okay to do a channel about the information that I learned during those 6 years? Absolutely.
Can I talk about this?
Absolutely. Yeah, go.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Here's
Take
the
it.
thing. All right, here's the thing. If you
Herman Drost in the house. What's up, dude?
Hey,
Hope you're all
Herman.
fantastic, man. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, man. Here's the thing. If you want to make educational content, and I think a lot of people go wrong on this, you don't have to know everything. You only have to know more than the people that you're teaching.
Right.
So if you've been doing something for 6 or 7 years, you're targeting.
You know a lot more.
You know a
Yeah.
lot more than people who are just starting now. So don't think I have to learn all of this stuff. No, you just have to walk people through what you've learned over that 6 years, and you continue to learn the process.
Yep.
You don't have to learn everything.
Yeah, you know that's one of the beauties of YouTube is
Yeah.
people that have experience in all different facets of stuff. We
Yeah.
all get to share like all of these different things and like help out other people that basically shortcut everybody's learning curve. That's
Yeah.
a huge service.
Yeah.
So without question, I think that that if that that work of making that content for that, if that's something that you think that you could add value with, and in exchange for that value, if there's also stuff that you'll get out of it as well, that could be just the pleasure of putting it out there and helping people. That could also be other benefits that come from doing all this stuff. Whatever that is, I definitely think that that's perfectly fine.
And you don't even have to be 6 years ahead of them.
Right.
You can be 6 months ahead of them.
Right.
Right. You're just teaching people who are behind you.
Yeah, well, with this, I don't know if they're teaching. It's more of just they have information.
Well, they have the information, whatever.
Right,
You're
right,
sharing
right.
the information. You're sharing the information to people who do not have the information.
Right, right. Next up, we got Xavier Ray and Glenn is the name of the channel. The type of channel is long distance relationships. The goal of the channel is to bring our viewers on the journey of making our long distance relationships not so distant anymore. And the question is, hey, Nick and D, thanks. What's going on? Hope you're doing great.
Hey, what number are you on?
Says I'm
number
on
is this?
30. Or no, I'm sorry. That's not it. I'm on 6.
Oh,
That's a big,
okay.
big difference from 30.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay. I skipped something. Okay.
But says, thanks so much for answering my question a few weeks ago. It helped a lot. I'm almost done with our first video. My biggest weakness is thumbnails. I'm thinking of hiring someone to do thumbnails. Do you recommend anyone who's skilled at capturing attention on YouTube videos? I remember a couple of weeks ago you said Fiverr might not be the best option. Thanks so much, guys, and keep up the good work. So when it comes to Fiverr, the whole idea with Fiverr is like you can get
It's
good
hit or
stuff
miss.
there.
It's hit or miss.
But the whole idea is that it's more beneficial to you, even if it costs more money, to work with somebody that understands YouTube, because a graphic designer doesn't necessarily they might be able to make something pretty,
Yeah.
but they might not necessarily understand what it takes on YouTube
To make it effective.
right
To win the click.
without
Right.
calling, because I'm not gonna, we don't want to put them on blast or anything, but like D and I have worked with people in the past where they've kind of stepped in the way of us making thumbnails, and they've had their designers make thumbnails instead, and the only thing their designers cared about, and we had to kind of fight for this in order to get the right to make thumbnails again.
Literally, I knocked their teeth out. Literally.
But basically their designers, the thing that they cared about was like branding, right?
Yeah.
Does everything look the same? That's
Yeah.
all they cared about. They didn't care about like the effectiveness of the thumbnail, drawing people's attention to a specific, idea. All they cared about was, is this going to look pretty on the channel page? That's the only thing they cared about.
Right.
So, because of that, you just have to be, mindful. Now, keep in mind, if you are good at that stuff, then in that case, you can, teach people, and you can say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what we need to keep in mind when we're making these and all that. You can do that. So if you are, up to date with all of that stuff, and you know what it takes, but you just don't, you understand what you're trying to get, but you don't know how to actually put it together, then in that case, you might be able to find somebody on Fiverr and then just train them up on what it is that you need.
Yeah, the thing with Fiverr, with anything, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
It is really hit or miss. And if you're doing trying to do, if you're doing a thumbnail and you're trying to put yourself in there, it's a little bit different. But if you're trying to just order some generic things on Fiverr, there's a lot of theft happening on Fiverr. I'm constantly battling with people stealing my designs for streamers on Fiverr.
Same with thumbnails too.
It
I
is
have
a
people using my thumbnails.
non-stop battle, and I report them to Fiverr. Fiverr, I'm calling you out. I report them to Fiverr over and over and over, and they don't kick these people off the platform. They just let them keep. They'll remove it.
Yeah.
They'll remove it, but then they just keep letting them sell. It's
So, yeah, there's also people over there that like will literally take my thumbnails and then they'll like use me as like, you know, one of their references or whatever. It's crazy.
There's a lot of shady stuff going on over there.
Yeah, like there's some good stuff too, though.
Yeah.
Like they have like the pro section. Plus, they do have some, you know, very talented people over there. They have people that like get it and all that. Like there's good stuff over there too. But you just have to be mindful, you know, when you go in there and make sure that you're, you know, paying attention to all of that.
A lot of trash.
So yeah. So next up, we've got Xavier, Ray, and Glenn. Oh, we did this one already. Yep. Okay, we got that one. Okay, so next up, we got number 7 here. So we got About Interior Design is the type of channel. Design Burst is the name of the channel. It aims to educate and inspire its viewers about various aspects of interior design. And the question is, yeah, and Roberto mentioned that YouTube Jobs is a good higher quality talent to work with. Yeah, that's you know, the people over there are vetted and they know YouTube. They work with larger creators and all of that, or just people that, you know, need the help. But you know, you pay for it over there, so just be prepared for that as well.
Somebody told me to look at the camera. I looked at the camera.
So Design Burst, the goal of the channel is to educate and inspire its viewers about various aspects of interior design. And the question is, our channel's about interior design. And I just want to say really quick that it's super good that you have like a YouTube channel to where you can talk about this stuff, because AI is coming for interior designers.
Like, have you seen the AI interior design website?
Yeah, I've actually ran, I've actually ran some of my rooms through some of that stuff.
Did you?
Yeah, it's like, holy cow, never even thought about doing that. This is genius. It's crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the name? What's it called?
Interior. I think it's called like interiors.ai or something like that. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, it's nuts.
Absolutely insane.
I actually, I can't remember the exact thing, but it was somebody like Bloomberg or something like that. They put out information saying that they are anticipating it's some like big business website, and they're anticipating like, God, how many jobs is it?
1 billion.
Staggering amount of jobs that are going to be eaten up by AI. Yeah. But anyway. So
yeah, brace yourselves. If you're not keeping tabs of AI,
I'm bracing myself. I'm a content creator and I'm still bracing myself.
Yeah. Here, I don't know if you
seeing like this AI stuff just on working on this music video. I'm like, man, what's this going to be like in like, you know, a year, 2 years?
Yeah.
Like I'm not even gonna have to make videos anymore.
I've already seen people on Twitter and Reddit who will come back and say, yeah, I didn't think AI was going to like do anything, but I just lost my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's happening already. Yeah.
So anyway, our channel's about interior design, which started in June. It only started gaining views after a month, and now we have 591 subscribers. Congratulations with 8 videos. So that's some inspiration for all of you that are new, right? Like that are like, hey, you know, I'm trying to get this going. And, you know, some people believe that YouTube, like, you know, punishes small creators and, you know, or new creators and things like that. But here's one more case with just 8 videos. They got 591 subscribers already. But anyway, it says our question is about the niche. In our channel about interior design, the videos about the living room have high views. In your expert opinion, do we need to focus on the living room, or is it just okay for us to post about different rooms? And can you give me more advice about the niche, like do's and don'ts? So what you want to think about is since you know and you have proof on your channel, at least at this moment in time, that living room content does best, you can rely on that when you are publishing videos as content that is likely to do well, right? So the idea that you want to think about when it comes to YouTube is, of course, not every video that you publish is going to be, you know, a hit. And the videos that are videos that you can depend on to be hits, usually in a lot of cases, as long as you put them, you know, together, right? So when you are publishing videos on Living Room and people are responding well to the Living Room content, that's a good sign, because that shows you that, you know, that's good content. Like for me, right? If I post videos about like how to get views, right? Because of the nature of my content and what people respond to, that video will typically get, you know, at least a certain amount of views on it. And I know that when I publish it, at least, you know, over time. So like in your case, like your living room content could be that. However, another thing that you have to think about, just like I do, is yes, I could make a video every week about how to get views on YouTube and just focus everything on that. But that's not what my entire channel's about. What my channel's about is helping demystify all this stuff for YouTubers, or helping content creators thrive on YouTube. So because of that, there's a lot of moving parts that go into thriving on YouTube. So my channel as a whole tries to fill in all of the, you know, holes for, you know, that particular task. So in your particular case, even though those living room videos do great, I mean, you could technically be like the living room channel on interior design. You could do that. But since you are focused on interior design, just for your own sake, in terms of like, hey, I don't want to just talk about living rooms all the time. People are going to need to watch bedroom stuff. People are going to need to watch kitchen stuff. People are going to need to watch hallway stuff. People are going to need to watch, everything. So because of that, I would still put out content, on the other rooms as well. But I would just monitor what's going on. So this is where we're going to scoot over into content strategy. So when it comes to YouTube, one of the things that you always want to make sure that you're thinking about is not just the video that I'm going to be publishing next week. Instead, you want to think about, okay, over the next like 28 days or 90 days, what content am I going to be publishing on my channel, and why am I publishing that content? So as an example, your living room content, let's say you do a video a week on your YouTube channel. Over the next 3 months, it's going to give you roughly 12 videos that you're going to be putting out on your YouTube channel. So because of that, you might say, okay, out of these 12 videos, let's make 4 of them about living rooms, and then we're gonna take the other videos, and we're gonna make all of those about other rooms, and we're gonna use those. The purpose of those videos is going to be so we can, one, try to see if we can find better ways to get people to respond to these other rooms, and two, also to start putting them together maybe as a series. So this is on content strategy. So if you were to go to the side where you're like, okay, let's put them together as a series. So then in that case, what you could do is you could start looking at it through a different lens. So instead of looking at it at the room, you could say, okay, I'm going to start building out playlists on different styles of interior design. And let's say we're going to do like a modern living room, and that's going to be like the first video that's going to come in, depending on the approach you want to take here. You could go 2 different ways, but you could say we're going to do the living room video first, and that's going to pull people in on this topic, and we're going to basically optimize it around being a modern room. And then the next thing that we're going to do is maybe talk about like a modern bedroom, right? And then that way you start putting those together in a playlist, so that as people are coming into those videos, you're interlinking them in your end screens and your pinned comments and your descriptions and all of that, and you're driving everybody into that playlist of modern design. Because the people that are watching videos on the living room, sure, they want to see the design in the living room, but also when you start talking about like styles and things like that, people that are going to come in on the living room video, if that typically performs well on your channel, they're going to enjoy, the living room video. And then if they also are clicking on it because it's a modern living room and they're into modern design, and then at the end of that living room video, you're like, oh, hey, and if you are into modern design, I have an entire playlist of all of the rooms in your house where we can, kind of redo everything for modern design. Click into that right here. And then what you do is you create that chain of videos that people, will want to watch through. So when you are, publishing your videos, don't think of it like in rooms. Think of it in like viewer experiences, right? So like, how can I get somebody that is, coming in from this living room content to also be interested in some of this other content? And one of the things that I would try anyway is from a stylistic standpoint. But when you are putting all that stuff together, just make sure that you're thinking about like the big picture over the next like 28 days or 90 days, depending on your approach, and thinking of like how you can get people from one video to the next based on the things that they care about. But also, how I mentioned earlier, that you could do it where you had the living room video first and then have people go from there into the playlist. You can do that approach because the living room content typically performs on your channel. Or you can publish some of the other videos, like in between other videos, publish like a bedroom video and like a kitchen video, and then drop the living room video and use that as the top of funnel for that particular thing that's going to drive people into the content about like the bedroom and the kitchen that you published earlier, right? So I would just look at it through that lens instead of looking at it like, hey, I need to only focus on living rooms. I would look at it like, okay, people are responding to living rooms, so we know that we're going to make sure that we add that, to our content on a regular basis. But how can we also, use that to our advantage to, send people into other content that they might care about? So hopefully that makes sense.
I just sat here for 10 minutes and listened to you talk about living rooms.
Yeah. It's good info, though.
I
Great
did not,
info.
I did not expect that
info.
today.
Yeah.
I did not expect that today at all.
Yeah, it's good info, though. So
never
next up,
cease to amaze.
We've got Frost Titan. Frost Titan says, hey, Nick, as always, love your content. Look forward to seeing you guys at Vid Summit. Looking forward to seeing you at Vid Summit as well. And thank you for the super chat. And by the way, if you guys don't know about VidSummit, there's a conference happening in Dallas, Texas, October 3rd through the 5th. It's called VidSummit. I'm going to be there. Roberto Blake's going to be there. Some other people that are here in the chat right now are going to be there as well. It is so is like Mr. Beast and Mark Rober and like all of these other Zach King and like Daryl Leaves and all these other, like big content creators and people that are, established in the space. And the whole thing is it's about content creators helping other content creators to figure all this stuff out. So there's more information about it down in the description. You can go to vidsummit.com. But if you are going to be in Dallas, Texas, or if you can get to Dallas, Texas, I'm coming from Thailand to go there. But you can, if you're in the States, if you can get to Dallas, Texas, October 3rd through the 5th, then just go to vidsummit.com and you can learn more information about that.
Super chat.
Repair Gang, thanks for the super chat. Says, I've been watching for the last 3 years. I'm at 6,000 subs. Congratulations on 6K. Says, but it's sad to see how many people quit doing YouTube since I've been watching. Look, man, I've been doing this. I've been doing this for almost 9 years now. And yeah, same exact thing. Like there's so many talented people that come through, but because they don't have the patience or, in some cases they just don't have the time because life is busy, right? So, in some cases they don't have the patience. In other cases, they don't have the time. In other cases, they don't have the drive, but it's unfortunate seeing people
burn out.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate seeing people come in and, where they have that potential and then they just like give up on it for whatever reason. It's bizarre to me.
People leave for all kinds of reasons.
They do.
People change their focus.
Right.
People change their focus. Mm-hmm. People just lose interest.
Lose interest, right.
Yeah. Some people just wake up one day and go, I'm not going to do this anymore.
No.
And go on and do something else.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
So next up on our list here, we have No People, No Problems. I think that's something that we can all support sometimes.
I have somebody else in Thailand.
Says, oh, you're actually in Thailand? I thought it was a joke when you said hi from Thailand.
I thought they were saying hi from Thailand. Yep. Okay.
But No People, No Problem says they do off-grid survival content. The goal of the channel is monetization and teaching others the simple life. Question, greetings. Thank you for doing this. Our pleasure. We enjoy it. Question is the CTR on the YouTube Studio app said this video is appealing to a smaller audience than usual, but CTR is looking good. How to improve on that field? So basically, it's saying that the content itself, that your CTR is like looking okay, but the video itself, it's just not appealing to as many people as your regular content does. So because of that, it could be that the CTRs at a competitive rate, but your regular viewers typically respond at a higher rate, is what that could be. So what you want to do there is you, have to make sure that you are being intentional because, for example, in some cases, like if you make, hey, Zach, what's up, dude? If you make content that is specifically targeted for like YouTube search, for example, right? Like if I made like a tools video, then in that case, like I would, get it to where it would do okay and browse as well. But, really I'm going for like long-term, like YouTube search traffic on that if I'm trying to promote something as an affiliate or something. So because of that, sometimes like I'll publish something and even though like everything's low on it in terms of like maybe the initial response, I know it'll be fine like long-term. So it's not a big deal. But the first thing that I would do in that case is I would go and I would see like, okay, for where it is that I'm trying to get activity on this, how am I performing there? And if you find that everything's low there, then maybe, yeah, you do need to make a change of some kind. But if not, if it's normal for your channel, then in that case, you're probably fine. Hey, Dee, do you want to take this for a second? I need to step away for 1 second.
Absolutely. I'm going to look into...
And just a heads up, I'm on number 9.
Number 9. Let's go and see what's going on with number 9. Going through here. Walk behind the camera over there. So this question comes from Hiking and RV in the United States. The view of the channel is to share our experiences to help others. And just a side note here, I would love to have an RV or a van. I'm completely obsessed with van life. And one of these days, I would love to build a van or get a small RV, go back to the United States and tour around the United States. So I'm going to check your channel out. So the question is, I've heard a lot of chatter about hiring an editor and building a business and growing to where you can hire help. Part of the joy of YouTube for me is creating content that I own on my own benefit of others. Can a YouTuber make a full-time income on YouTube by themselves? Absolutely you can. There's a lot of people who are doing what you're doing and they're doing it full-time. What does that look like and what do channels do that have a thriving channel, or what percentage are solo creators? I'm questioning whether it's possible. Okay, first and foremost, it is absolutely possible. And what I recommend you do, if you're an RV channel and that's what your entire niche is, go find people who are succeeding in your niche. Go find the biggest channels and study everything about them. Look at the video topics that they're making. Look at the affiliate links that they're sending out where they're trying to make money. Do they sell anything? What's selling? How are they building their community? Right? Look in their descriptions. Look how they put everything together, because the most successful channels that are doing this full time, they figured out what works. You don't have to figure out how to reinvent the wheel. Just look at the channels that are succeeding and then figure out how you can add your own twist to whatever it is that you're doing. Like, I don't know the details of what you're doing. Maybe you're within a certain age group. Maybe you have a particular type of RV. Maybe you're doing a particular style of camping once you're on the road. There's a lot of different ways you can add your own little spin to it, but this is absolutely doable. It doesn't matter what niche you're in. You just have to look and find other channels and see what they're doing. Go down to their description. What are they selling? Who are they getting sponsored by? Once you start building up a channel large enough and you start getting in views, you start getting a lot of engagement, you can look at who's sponsoring some of these other RV channels and reach out to them and try to work out a deal where they can sponsor your videos as well. So you can absolutely do this full time. Doesn't matter what type of channel you have. Do you concur?
What'd you say?
Nothing. You concur.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah, you concur.
So what are you talking about? Getting like hiring people?
Yeah. They were just talking about, is being a full-time creator doable? Right? They've got like an RV channel. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And in terms of hiring an editor, you don't have to hire an editor, right? I mean, look, if you've got a lot of extra time, you're going to pay for editing one way or another.
Right.
You're going to pay
time
for
or
it.
Money.
You're going to pay for it with time. Or you're going to pay for it with money. If you have the money to pay for it, find an editor to help you if it increases the amount of content that you can put out, or if it's causing you any stress whatsoever. If you're finding that you're in a position to where you're saying to yourself, I don't want to make YouTube videos because editing is so stressful, hire an editor.
Yeah, right.
Get that out of the way. Hire people to do the things that you don't want to do if you have the budget to do that.
And the funny thing is, if you enjoy it, like it can actually be like a weird thing to hire an editor. Like, for example, my last video, the AI video, like I edited that. Like I edit videos from time to time. I've edited most of my shorts. Like I just like editing. Like I like that. So because of that, like Bigard is awesome at what he does. But I also love to edit. So because of that, if I have the time, then I'll edit my content sometimes as well, just because I enjoy it.
Yeah, Roberto says, I'm still a solo creator at 500,000 subscribers. It's totally possible to succeed as a solo creator, but a team does make some things easier or less stressful. Right,
without
that's
question.
the thing. Like, how do you want to scale and how do you want to spend your time? If you're in an RV and you're enjoying all the things that you can enjoy with an RV and you're traveling all over the place and you want to spend more time outside or fishing or sitting by the campfire or swinging in a hammock or reading a book, whatever it is you do in your RV, if you want to spend more time doing that and you have the finances to do it, hire people to help you. But if you're like,
good.
Oh, but if you have all that extra time, learn how to edit.
Yeah.
And do it. I still edit. Like, I know you have an editor. I still edit all of my videos. I could technically hire an editor. I enjoy the process of editing as long as the software doesn't crash.
Right.
As long as the software is not crashing, I love editing.
So really quick, Construction Crony says, I tried hiring editors. It doesn't work for me. It does. So I went through that. I went through that as well. So it's not that it doesn't work. It's just that you haven't, one, found the right editor yet. Two, when you are working with them, it's also possible that they just need to be trained better because, for me personally, that was like a big issue that I had first with editors. And to be honest with you, like luckily, like Bigard also carries some of the weight there and really helps me out because like when I first started hiring an editor, my original thought was like, hey, I just send them videos and they figure it out. Right. That was my original thought. And then from there, I learned like, okay, well, I can't just send videos and they figure it out. I have to, give them some notes on things that, I want them to keep in mind and things like that. I also need to have some type of feedback mechanism in place that I can use in order to, let them know where, changes are needed and all of that. And basically, you have to kind of work with people through the process. But once they understand what you want, then in that case, they become a lot more efficient. It becomes a lot more hands off. You still got to give notes and, things like that. In some cases, full outlines and like, details. But in, a lot of cases, once you're, working with somebody, they get to know your style, they get to know your preferences and all of that. And then they can handle handle, things in a way that you can, or in some cases even better, when it comes to the videos that you're putting out.
Yeah, like he talked about earlier with thumbnail design. Just because a graphic designer can make a thumbnail does not mean that they can make an effective thumbnail. And the same thing holds true for video editors. Just because someone can technically operate and edit a video, or they might even be a great editor, that doesn't mean that they can be a good YouTube editor without some practice.
Right.
So, if you're hiring an editor and they don't have practice, and they're not experienced with editing for YouTube, I recommend working with them. Put the videos up, show them the audience retention, show them where people are leaving, and work together to work through some of those problems and help train them to become better at editing for YouTube.
Yep.
Anyone can edit.
Joy Moore, she's got like 140 something thousand subscribers on her channel. She says that she, still handles everything herself as well. Yeah. It's just, part of the thing. And it comes down to like preference. And also keep in mind, like another thing that people think is they think like, hey, when I get an editor, then in that particular case, like I'm not going to have to like do anything but make the content. Yeah, but you still have to like, take the footage, take it out of your computer, organize everything, upload it to where it is you're going to upload it, prepare any type of notes, any type of B-roll, things like that. In some cases, your editor will do the B-roll too. But, there's, the whole prep side of things where in some cases, depending on the, content that you're making, the amount of time that it takes you to do all the prep, you could get through like your first like rough cut of the entire video, yourself, like those types of things too. But tons of content creators that make full-time livings, doing this. And in some cases, like very good full-time livings, they still do it themselves.
I want to add another layer of complexity to this, because a lot of people reach out to Upwork and Fiverr and that sort of thing to find video editors, which is fine. You can find really good editors there. But I'll say this, depending on where you're at in the world, you have to understand that there could be some cultural decisions that your editor makes that might not work with your particular audience.
Yes.
For example, we're in Thailand, and if you look at the type of content that's popular in Thailand for the Thai audience, they have tons of sound, almost kind of cartoonish for a lot of them.
Like not kind of.
Not kind of, it is.
Cartoon, yeah.
All kinds of zings and whips and cartoon sounds.
Not everything, and like some of their educational content. Like I ran across a guy that does like YouTube help content.
Right, but a lot of
stuff
it
is like is like normal.
Right, but a lot of it is.
View,
so
normal.
my point is, so let's just say that you're in the United States and maybe you're hiring somebody, and no shade towards India at all. I'm just using this as an example. And let's say you're hiring somebody from India as a video editor. Just make sure that they understand culturally what might be attractive to your audience. And if you see that they're making some weird decisions that don't make sense to you, just have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because those cultural differences can cause them to add things in there that might not make sense to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a heads up, so in terms of like where to find somebody, so you can find editors on YT Jobs. That's Patty Galloway, for those of you that are familiar with Patty Galloway, that's his site, but ytjobs.com.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, ytjobs.com. You can also find people on upwork.com if you're wanting to train people. If you're wanting to train people in the Philippines, then you can go to onlinejobs.ph. If you're wanting to train people to edit your videos from India, then you can go to brickwork.com, I think it is, for that. So all of those are, areas that you can, find people to do your stuff.
Yeah. And just a little FYI, if you're dealing, and again, I'm not throwing shade, I'm just preparing people for what could happen. There are some places where if you're outsourcing, you're going to get a lot of things like, oh, the internet's not working here today.
Yeah.
We can't transfer the file today.
Yeah.
We just had a hurricane.
Yeah, you definitely have to give yourself a buffer in some cases.
Don't cut it down to the wire, because there are some situations where they're going to use things like typhoons and hurricanes and the rainy season and power outages and stuff to that might not even exist.
Right. In some cases, it's legit though. Too.
Yeah.
But
I'm just keeping it real.
Pull Hits TV says, watching from the Philippines. Hope you're doing fantastic.
Yes.
Love the Philippines. Design Burst. Thank you for the super chat. Says, thank you for answering my question. Can we use AI tools for interior design to enhance our audience's learning experience and reduce our content creation time? Without question. So, with all of these tools that are popping up, around AI, really, even non-AI tools.
Yeah. Like
if you can use anything to make your job as a content creator easier and more efficient, then by all means, use it, right? So, I'm a big fan of all of the YouTube tools. Every tool that you can use that can give you some type of advantage, that can save you time in some way, that can help you, optimize things in a better way, that can help you come up with ideas better. Any of that stuff, I use tons of tools, with my content. And I recommend, that you do the same as well.
Pull Hits TV comes in and says the number Number one in the Philippines is the internet is the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Dude,
but,
I went to when
but
I
it
was
is,
in Boracay.
but it is legit bad. But it is legit
yeah.
bad.
When I went to Boracay, like I could hardly do anything. Like I uploaded a video there when I went there for the Empire Flippers podcast thing. Like I tried uploading a video there, and it took me literally like, okay, in the afternoon, I'm gonna go hang out at the villa, and I like hit the upload there. I wasn't in the villa at that time. I was in just like a regular place.
The villa.
No, they had the villa.
Right.
They rented out like the whole villa thing.
I was in Boracay, for Boracay, Philippines,
No,
hanging out at the villa.
No, that wasn't. You know that.
Was
Yeah,
that the
yeah. They
three-bedroom-
brought me there.
Was
yeah.
that the 3-bedroom villa with the infinity
No,
pool?
they,
looking
no, it
over
was
the-
like a whole resort of villas. Yeah, like that's how
I
they
know-
roll.
I know what
yeah,
you're
that's how
talking
they
about.
roll.
Yeah, okay.
But like
The villa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But basically, I hit upload like shortly after I got up, so it might have been like 12 or 1 in the afternoon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then went out.
Crack a noon.
Yeah, and then went out, did all the stuff, with them during the day, came back like really late at night, like maybe like midnight or 1,
Yeah.
still uploading like maybe 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, and then like went to bed, woke back up, still, in the upload process. Yeah, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Heidi, thank you so much for the
Hey,
super
thank you, Heidi.
There's a little something for your M&M fund. Yeah.
Thank you kindly.
Coffee
Thank
fund.
You. Yeah,
Thank
coffee,
you so
it's
much.
coffee today.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let's see. So next question.
Internet's crazy all over the world.
It is.
Like, yeah, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we're fortunate here. Like our internet's like cruising. It used to be really bad.
Yeah.
But like now, like we're completely hooked up here now.
Yeah.
It's great. So K-Skis is the next channel here. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do variety gaming. The goal of the channel is to reach 100 subscribers and make entertaining content that builds a community. Question. So I had recently hit 90 subscribers thanks to you and your bunch of others. Wait, you and yours and a bunch of others help. In my latest video, I checked the audience retention and it said that the average view duration was 51 seconds. Then after that, it's usually somewhere around 24. Then when it's towards the end, it's now only 6. That makes it compared to the short I made, the same video. The average view duration was 20 seconds, but it has 130 plus views. So my question is, how can I make it so that more than 6% of the people make it to the end of my video? You got to make the rest of the video better. And I know this isn't like exactly the answer that you're looking for, but if people aren't responding well to your content in terms of watch time or in terms of the experience that they're having, then in that case, like you have to like learn how to make better content. You have to learn how to put the content better. Put it together in a better way in terms of like editing. You have to come up with, ideas that are just more interesting for the people that you're trying to reach. You have to be able to, hook people when your videos first start. Like you have to go through that process. So like right now, you had mentioned that you just recently hit, 90 subscribers, on the channel. So like you're heading in the right direction, right? But as, a newer content creator, like one of the things that you have to remember is that, all of this stuff comes with a lot of stuff that you have to learn, right? Like YouTube comes with a lot of things you have to learn. A lot of people, when they start YouTube, they will think that, like, hey, I just make some videos, publish them, and then like I'll get lots of views, but it's a lot more complicated than that. In some cases, yes, that does happen, but, to be able to sustainably have a YouTube channel, like, Roberto's in here, he's been on YouTube for a decade.
No, Roberto.
I can't even put into words because I've been on YouTube for like almost 9 years now. So I can't even, put into words the, amount of things that you have to continually be mindful of and keep in place and be doing on a regular basis and all of that in order to have a sustainable channel that lasts that long. So, because of that, I would just right now, I would focus all of your efforts on skill development and just paying attention to your audience and understanding what it is that they want. And while you're, looking at them and what it is that they want for your audience, just working really hard on all of the skills, required for YouTube in terms of, watch videos on design, watch videos on like color theory, watch videos on like font usage, watch videos on public speaking, watch videos on charisma. There's a channel called Charisma on Command that will help you with that. Watch videos on video editing, watch videos on persuasion, watch videos on copyright. Like all of those things, will help you out when it comes to your YouTube channel, but work on the skill sets. Yep. Draw or Die. What's going on? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Says, thanks for all the value that you put out. See you at Vid Summit. Hope that you are doing fantastic, and I will see you at Vid Summit as well. Hope that you
or die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's DJ.
Oh, that's DJ.
Yep,
That sounds a little aggressive.
Yep.
I'm a little uncomfortable right now. Feel like I should draw something.
Right.
Just to kind of cover my butt a little bit.
Right. He like comes in the room. It's like, quick, somebody grab a pencil.
Right.
Yeah, grab a pencil.
Yeah.
Or a tablet
Start
at least.
doodling.
Yeah.
Doodle,
quick, doodle. Where's the doodles? Yeah. Yeah, Berto says skills are the foundation of being a successful content creator. Yeah, and I'd like to add to that, like, it's the foundation of being a successful long-term content creator.
Skills.
Yeah.
It's the foundation of being a successful anything.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Anything.
Facts. Yep.
Like
facts.
if you're unskilled,
Yep.
you're gonna find
Life is hard.
Life is hard if you're unskilled.
Yeah, life is hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to succeed at something, you have to be skilled at that thing, and
Yep.
that takes time.
Yep.
That takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication.
Channel name is
Like drawing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you're not skilled at drawing, DJ will unalive you.
Right.
So
Right.
there's that.
Yep. So, or if you just don't draw,
You just don't
yeah, like,
draw.
there's a lot of high risk here with
I know.
DJ. Yeah,
I'm
a
a
lot
little-
of high risk. Yeah,
I'm a
it's
little
like,
uncomfortable
no.
with DJ in here. Yeah, I will not be seeing you at Vid Summit, DJ. I will not be taking that risk. I will not be.
Right.
I will not be participating in whatever it is.
Be
you've got-
hiding. Yeah, anytime DJ comes around, D's like, oh, hey, look, I got something I got to go do.
Yeah. Oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Look.
Draw, quick. Yeah. Darren Weber is our next channel here. They have been on YouTube for 1 year or more. The goal of the channel is to go full time. The question is, are there any best practices when it comes to using emojis in your titles and or description? Should I avoid them since most people don't search for emojis? Yeah. I mean, you can use them. And, you know, some people do, and they still get a lot of views. Like, just make sure that if you are using them, that they don't obstruct the message that the viewer is going to see. Because ultimately, the whole idea with a title is to, you know, grab somebody's attention or to pull them into the content based on, you know, whatever it is. So because of that, in some cases, people will over emoji their titles and it will distract from what it is that they're actually trying to say in the title. So because of that, if you are going to use emojis in your title, just do so sparingly. And also keep in mind that, you know, emojis do translate to, like, you know, characters and, you know, punctuation and like things like that. So just be, you know, just don't go overboard with using emojis.
So we have King Vicious YT in the chat that says, "Bro, tell me why I legit went from 30 to 1,750 subscribers."
Yeah, I'm guessing that you had a yeah. What are your thoughts, D?
You either had I'm gonna run this down. You either had a video that did incredibly well, or you had a series of videos that did incredibly well, or you bought subscribers, or you engaged in sub for sub. I don't know which one of those that actually is, but considering you followed this up with a bunch of views that you have, you probably have a video or a series of videos that did incredibly well. So congratulations. What do you think? You concur?
Let's see here. So yes, they have 628,000 or 625,000 views on the YouTube channel
Okay.
as a whole.
Okay.
So because of that, yeah, people just responded well to your videos. You probably had a video or short that did
Is it shorts?
way better than, you know, than some of your other shorts. Like you have
Yep,
one
he's
right
got
here.
a few. He's got a few.
Yeah, he's got one right here, 75,000 views, another one with 47,000 views, another one with 41,000 views. So yeah, like
Way to
you're just
go.
putting out content that people are responding to in a positive way.
Yep.
So you're doing the thing. Keep doing it.
Yeah, you're doing the thing. You touched on something that your audience responds to.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing that thing.
Yep.
Focus on that thing.
Yep.
Whatever that is.
Otsminas, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Clearing clutter
Can I just tell you the pressure
of saying stuff right.
of like you see someone's name
And you're, yeah.
and you're like, I don't know how to pronounce this.
Right.
And like as you say it, you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna butcher this.
Right.
So yeah, we apologize in advance if we butcher your name. It is
Yeah.
not intentional.
Yeah, and also in some cases, people will put like, you know, like words that are separate, but they'll put them together because it's a channel name or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, I'm always like, okay, is there like a break in here somewhere that I should be saying, or like, what's the? But yeah,
Back to Peel. Well, what is it? Peel and Jordan and Peel.
Otsminas, I
Aaron?
think is what it is.
Yeah.
Otsmina, I think
Aaron.
is how you say that. It's autism in combination with Mina, so
Oh, okay.
Otsmina. Okay, got it.
Aaron.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So they've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The type of channel is raising mental health awareness through tidying and cleaning. The goal of the channel is to help people understand themselves better and improve their lives, as well as raising awareness about mental health and neurodivergency. The question is, how do you feel about people's being helpful in the comments by sharing a complete summary of your video? Whenever I see those comments, I wonder what their intention is. To me, I feel negative and hurtful for your content. So what do you think? So I'm not a fan of that. So one thing that if somebody like will leave a timestamp and they say something about, you know, about a video and they leave a timestamp at that point in time, I'm totally cool with that. But if I'm like, hey, here's 10 things to do X, Y, Z, and then, you know, like they put a comment and they're trying to get upvotes is the reason that people do this, because they're, you know, in their mind, they might be doing a service. But basically they will, you know, say like, hey, here are the 10 things. And, you know, or 8 things or whatever. So when they do that, I'm guessing, I don't know, but I'm guessing that for them, they're like, hey, you know, people, I'm just saving people a watch. So for me, when I see those, I'll delete them because I'm like, you know, hey, you can at least skip through the video or something.
Are you talking about the timestamp heroes who actually go into the comments and leave timestamps here on video?
Yeah.
You don't like them?
Well, it's not that.
I salute you.
It's not just
I
that.
salute you, timestamp heroes.
It's not just that. It's the people that if I'm like, okay, here's 8 things to do whatever.
Right.
Then they'll be like, you know, number 1, this, number 2, this, number 3, this, number 4, this, so that,
but
you
they're
know,
not timestamping it. You're just kind of.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you're dropping a
So that
timestamp, I salute you.
Yeah. Even with those, I'm kind of like, if I don't add timestamps and then they add them, I'm still like, I don't know if I wanted timestamps, I would have put them in there.
As a viewer, I salute you.
As a viewer, sure. Right. But as a creator, I do not.
Yeah.
Let's see
heroes is what I call it.
Timestamp heroes. Yeah. Love it. So next up, we've got Alfredo Productions. They do daily content. They do gaming and automobile content. And the goal of the channel is to get 500 subscribers in 1 week. And the question is it better to schedule videos and shorts to post or make them public as you upload them? So I recommend scheduling things to get on a consistent cadence with your YouTube channel. So like, for example, if you are like, hey, I just made 3 videos and I only publish once a week, then in that case, you know, just schedule them out for the next 3 weeks. And then that kind of just gives you some, you know, pressure release, right? Because you know that like clockwork, you'll have videos going out every Monday at whatever time. So, you know, because of that, I recommend that you just schedule them out. Some people will like, hey, you know, as soon as that video is done, I'm getting it up there. But, you know, my recommendation is that, you know, like, one of the things that I'm always mindful of is like, okay, when somebody starts a YouTube channel, just because, you know, I've been through it, it's like when somebody starts a YouTube channel, it's likely that they're like, you know, trying to figure things out and they're putting in lots of effort. And in some cases, they're even doing it without getting any income from the YouTube channel at all. Give me a me if you're feeling that. But basically, because of that, it can create a lot of pressure, because in addition to trying to balance YouTube with like your normal life, you know, you're having to keep that consistency with your upload schedule so that you can continually keep learning the stuff, right? In terms of like, you know, how to make better videos and all that, but also so that you can keep, you know, giving your audience the content that you know, they're coming in there for. So the thing that I recommend for long-term sustainability on YouTube is pick a schedule and just publish that schedule. If you make more videos, that's fine. Build it out for a while. And then if you're like, you know what, I'm getting pretty ahead of this, then that's where it's a good sign to say, hey, maybe you should upload twice a week. Or you can say, you know what, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm still going to just publish 1 time per week, right? So just kind of building it out a little bit. It's great for peace of mind, because then you're not on that like, oh gosh, it's Wednesday and I don't have a video ready yet. What am I going to do? And it removes that additional pressure, which in a lot of cases is one of like the core causes of burnout.
Yeah.
Is because people are constantly racing the clock trying to get that next video out.
Yeah. That is a lot of pressure.
It is.
It's a lot of pressure, and it's unnecessary pressure.
It is.
Right? Because you're like, oh my God, I got to get this out. Especially when you're new.
Right.
Got to get this out. Especially when you're starting to build momentum. And you're
Right.
starting to have, you're right.
I don't want to break this.
Yes, you have some of the videos that are starting to work. They're getting legs on them, and you're like, oh my God, I want to keep this going.
Yep.
And then you start building that pressure up. And then you start doing things like, man, I need to, I'm doing something next week. Maybe I'm going out of town with the family, or I'm going on vacation. Oh my God, what am I going to do?
Right.
What am I going to do?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
How am I going to go on
Same.
vacation for 2 weeks
Right.
if I can't upload these 2 videos per week? What
Right.
am I going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Coastal Diva is our next question here. The type of channel is I guide shoppers in finding coastal decor at affordable prices.
Coastal decor. That
Yep.
is very targeted.
It is. The goal of the channel is would love passive income from uploading videos. And the question is, once you reach the 4,000 hours needed to be monetized, do you have to keep getting 4,000 hours in 1 year? Yeah. So you have to, you have to maintain 4,000 hours. So, but if you get it within a year, the likelihood of you falling under that, if you just keep publishing your videos, is going to be really slim. Because like as you progress through this journey, you're going to get better at it. You're going to have a better understanding. You're going to get a good understanding with your audience. You're going to have a certain amount of core people that are going to come in and watch your videos on a regular basis when you publish and all that stuff. So it gets to a certain point to where it will become difficult to not hit that 4,000 hours, right? To not hit that 4,000 hours. So because of that, definitely just don't like worry about it. Just focus on like on making the content and serving your viewers, and then from there, everything else will fall into place as it relates to your watch time on your channel.
What number are you on right now? 14?
14, just moved to 15.
Okay.
Next up, we've got Blessed Parenting. Blessed Parenting, they do parenting tips and vlogs. The goal of the channel is to make a full-time income. And the question is, since my channel is parenting, can I go tip and vlogs and other things, or just pick one and focus? Let's see here.
Since my channel is parenting, can I go tip and vlogs and other things, or just pick one and focus?
Right. Yeah. So, if by tip you mean like giving tips, maybe that's it, because parenting tips is one of the things that they offer there. So in that particular case, let's see here.
Oh, they want to know if they should give advice, like, here's how to do this. Here's 5 tips, whatever, versus vlogs.
Vlogs, correct. Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That was weird.
So
Okay.
I would pick a lane, but keep in mind vlogs is like a format of content. Like technically you can still do parenting content, but make it a vlog. So you can give parenting tips while you're out in the world, or while you're, like you can vlog that information. Like every now and then when I travel, I'll do that, to where like I'll share like YouTube tips, but it'll be in a vlog format. So when you are, putting your content together, I would just pick like exactly what it is that you're going to offer to your audience and decide who your audience is going to be. So for example, if you are like, hey, I'm doing parenting tips because I'm going to, be helping parents, better, take care of their kids or whatever, then in that case, do that. But if you're like, hey, I want to give parenting tips, but then we're also doing these like unrelated vlogs about things that aren't related to like parenting in any way, then in that particular case, I would pick a lane there. But the whole idea is to just think about it through the lens of who am I serving with my content in terms of the audience that you're trying to reach, and then just serve them in the best way possible by running your content ideas through a filter of, is this something that particular group of people that I'm trying to serve would be interested in? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, roll with it. If the answer is no, then lose it, or put it on another channel.
This has been on my head the entire time we've been in here.
Epic.
So I was looking at the camera, and I was speaking all kinds of whatever, and this piece of Velcro was stuck on my hat. So I might look like...
I didn't even notice.
Well, I did. I went to scratch my head.
And you're like, what is this?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, my hat's falling apart. And then it was a piece of Velcro. Yeah, I want to add something to the vlogging aspect of
Please
anything.
do.
Give people a reason to watch the vlog.
Yep.
Give people a reason to watch a vlog. If you're just
And
like, hey,
to want to come back.
and want to come back. Right. So you're doing parenting, and I don't know what age group you're doing parenting for. I don't know how old your children are, but let's just say theoretically, you're doing parenting tips for people with newborn babies, and you want to do a vlog. Well, do the vlog and talk about the difficulties that you might have while you're going out in public with the baby. Or if you're going to the store, don't just, hey, follow me to the store. Go to the store and talk about the things that you buy for your baby, and why you actually purchase those things for your baby, and why you might choose this diaper over this diaper, and the research that you may have done into this brand of what, you know what I mean? Like, give people a reason so it's educational, and it will be more in aligned with the other tips that you're making.
Absolutely. Next.
Shark Scrapper, how you doing, man?
Learn Spanish World. What's up, my dude? Hope you're doing great. Says they do educational content. The goal is to provide well-structured Spanish lessons and do my utmost to become a full-time YouTuber. Question is, should I cut all music and sound effects from my educational channel? Just wondering if music may have negative impact on my videos. Some people love lo-fi and Spanish guitar in the background, but I've heard that music can also be distracting for educational channels. What are your thoughts? I would publish some videos without
Test it.
And then go use the grouping feature on YouTube, or you can compare just video to video. Basically, just publish like, let's say 5 or 10 videos without music, and then compare it to your recent videos, your last 5 or 10 videos with music, and see if you notice as a whole if one gets more retention than the others. Another thing that you can do is you can start the music like later in the video, or you can start the music earlier in the video and then drop the music before you get into the educational material. So, for example, as part of your hook, music, you have the music in there. And then as you get into the actual content, because they need to hear, in your case, you teach people language. So, if they need to hear the nuance of, the word that you're saying or the way that you're explaining it, then in that particular case, maybe, ducking the music at that point in time or just completely removing it as you get into that content could be a thing, or in reverse. You could, do it to where you don't have music and then you put in music. I would just do this for like a video or two, not 5 or 10, but then just go look to see if people leave in your audience retention reports when the music starts. And then that will just give you an idea on if it is an interruptive thing for people. Me, I like it. I like it. I don't always add music to my videos. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But when I'm watching like educational content, if I'm watching videos around music stuff, I don't like having just like random background music playing because they usually are playing something in their software that, that I'll need to hear or whatever, and it'll get weird if they have it playing. But most of the educational content that I watch, if they do have some type of like soft music bed in the background, for whatever reason, it could just be because I'm just easily distracted or whatever. It just kind of gives me something else to kind of bounce back and forth from. And it for me personally, it actually helps me stay a little bit more engaged.
Yeah. In addition to testing,
but everybody's different though.
I actually tested this on my channel early on, and I don't know if it was the music selection that I was using. I don't know if it was too loud at the time. But I did some testing early on, and when I removed music for a period of time, those videos actually did better. I don't want to say it was 100% because of the music, because I started adding music back later. I changed the style up, and I made the music a little bit lower, and people didn't seem to get bothered by that. But there's another thing that you can do, and I don't know how advanced of an editor that you are, but if you are a little bit of an advanced editor, you can actually EQ the music where the fundamental frequency of your voice is, so you can actually duck out some of that, the EQ of that music where your voice sits. They do this in movies a lot, so it actually keeps your placement for the actual vocals, so the frequencies don't clash from the music for your actual vocals. So it's just like a little EQ dip where your vocals are going to be, and then just kind of turn it down. And it's like most people
turn it down for what?
Just turn the
no,
volume
down. I'm just getting my little John on. That's all.
Got your little
yeah.
I'll sing it and give you a copyright claim. We'll get this whole stream claimed right now.
But that was conversationally though, not singing it.
Yeah, well, it's YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
When you conversationally mentioned it. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like, so just turn the volume down, duck that out with the EQ a little bit where the fundamentals are for your actual vocal frequencies, and that might actually be better. They do this for movies.
And really quick, Heidi says that she says she stopped music. I just have it at the end now. So just as a heads up, I would definitely pay attention or just like double check that in your audience retention reports. Yeah. Because one thing that can also happen is if like your regular viewers, if they hear that music, like if you start to fade it up or something like that before the video is complete, that can be a cue for them because they get to notice that pattern over time. That can be a cue for them that can cause them to abandon the video as well. Just like if you were to say like, oh, hey, and by the way, make sure you hit the subscribe button and all that.
Credits. It's like movie credits.
Same thing. Yeah.
Movie credits. Up, it's over. I'm out.
Right. So basically, I would just double check in your audience retention reports to make sure that when the music starts, that it doesn't cause some type of abandonment. Now, the way that you're using it, you might just wait until like an end screen drops or something like that and put it in there. But if you do have it to where it kind of fades up and just kind of drops people into, the end of your video or into your end screens, I would just look in your audience retention reports in that area where the music does start to, increase.
Do you hear that?
Wow.
Did you hear that?
I did, yeah. But where it starts to increase in volume to make sure that it's not causing regular viewers to leave.
Yeah, experiment with music.
It's supposed to storm like really bad today, by the way.
You have to experiment with music, the genre of music, the level of the music. You got to experiment with all that. How you bring it in, how you take it out. But there's great things you can do. You can use build-ups with the music, right? Build-ups with the music. When you get to the point, it can like have a cut and then show something. So there's so much you can do with music. You have to experiment.
Also just building up ideas, right? Like ramping up something, building up the energy for it. And
totally.
It's cool.
I want to address this because this might be one of the most important things that we're going to talk about in today's stream.
Oh. We're going to talk about why Velcro was on your hat in the first place?
Diane.
That was from Shark Scrapper, by the way.
Dobson Barton Art says poor posture while creating and editing caused back issues.
Oh, let's talk about back issues.
Let's talk about this. Okay, now I know not everyone has the budget for this, but if you find yourself sitting at a desk for a long period of time, invest in a chair, an ergonomic chair. You don't have to get a Herman Miller, but you can get some knockoff brand or whatever. Invest in a good chair that will support your elbows, that you can actually adjust the height of, and it has good lumbar support. So you're actually sitting upright, and you can adjust the arms so it will actually support your elbows, so you're not putting pressure on your wrists. Do you remember all the chairs that I went through?
I do.
I have been through, this was years ago, I've been through every possible desk chair combination you can possibly imagine. I had carpal tunnel so bad I couldn't even twist off like a milk jug or a water jug lid. It was so bad. The way I fixed that was getting a proper ergonomic chair that would sit me upright to where everything was at the right height. So learn about ergonomics. It's a game changer. I even went as far, I don't know if you remember this. Those of you who are a little bit older might remember back in the school days, they would make school desks, like an individual school desk, where the desk itself was part of the chair. It was made out of wood, right? You'd have the desk, you had the chair, the desk, and it had like the arm. I had actually tried working on one of those where I bought, do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I had the school chair with a big wooden thing. It was an old one, like a really old one. So it had the support for one arm, and then I would put the computer on that.
Nice.
And build, you don't remember that?
I don't know.
Yeah. But the problem is the other one wasn't supported, and it just made me feel
Lopsided.
Lopsided.
Interesting.
Yeah, I tried everything. Invest in a chair, learn about ergonomics, and then you can sit for a very long time without issues.
Or grab yourself a floor mat, like a anti-fatigue mat. Go find something in your house. It can be a dresser. It can be like a couple of shelves. That's what I used to use. And just get like a tabletop of some kind and just lay it on top of those shelves, but just make sure that your arms bend. The main rule here is make sure that your arms bend at a 90-degree angle. That's the right, height for it. And then you want to make sure that your monitor, that the top of the monitor is eye level. And then you can have like a kind of like a makeshift standing desk as well. Standing desks also really helpful for back pain.
So we got some consult a blind guy with some tips on music. If you use music lower than 20 dB under your talking level, i.e. voice is a -3 lower volume of music to -23 or lower, this is an accessibility recommendation for those hard of hearing.
Oh, interesting.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. Will you screenshot that?
I am. I'm going to screenshot this right now. I wasn't. See, here's the thing.
Never thought about that from an accessibility
perspective.
thinking
about an accessibility perspective. I just took a picture of that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because now I'm going to actually look into this more.
Yeah.
Learn something today. We keep learning.
It's great. Yeah. Right? Hey, that's life. Say you do it every day.
Yeah.
So,
I think you got a super chat.
Also, Construction Cronies, thank you for the super chat. It says, clothing line, do I have to use Shopify to get on YouTube Merch Shelf? Is there a way to link WordPress site? I'm thinking to do both. Any recommendations? Do Shopify. It's easier. So if you do Shopify, basically once you connect to Shopify, they have a Google plugin for Shopify. You connect that to your YouTube channel, and then you can just start loading stuff up into your Shopify store. Super easy. I would just use Shopify for it, just because it's all built in, and then you're good to go that way, without having to try to figure out some weird way to rope it to make it work in WordPress. Actually, in terms of it's showing up underneath the merch or underneath your videos, that only happens from Shopify. So unless they've changed something within the past month or two, WordPress isn't an option to show up there. And my guess in terms of the reason why is because they have contracts and things like that with Shopify, so therefore everything can be controlled about what is showing up there. But if you had a WordPress site, then technically somebody might be able to find some way to inject malware or something weird into people, or just cause warnings on YouTube.
Inject when weird things into people.
Yeah, when warnings on YouTube when people are interacting with the videos. That's my guess why they have that. But just use Shopify.
So we have two comments here about ergonomic chairs. We have one comment that says, if you buy it in person, have the store rep adjust it for you. Yeah, I fully, look, if you're going to buy an ergonomic chair, go to a shop that sells them, sit in it, find something that you can perfectly adjust and feels good, because sometimes you get an ergonomic chair, it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But and then sometimes you sit in it and you go, oh, this is the one. And T's Hot Mess says, I got a very expensive ergonomic chair on sale at Office Depot. It was marked way down for only $200. It's a lifesaver.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that was an airplane.
That was flying really low.
Okay. Yeah.
That one's really low.
Yeah. I thought the last one was wind. That's why I was like, oh, I wonder if it's the storm that's supposed to be happening.
I don't know.
So Praise and Truth is our next channel here. They have a faith-based channel. The goal of the channel is to bring more clarity of who God and the Christians are based on the Bible context through songs and sharing thoughts. The question is, I'm going to share 3 types of faith-based content: songs, covers of my own, how to play those songs, and thoughts on specific faith-based topics. Should I have 2 separate channels, for example, for music and thoughts content? What are the best practices for this? Okay, so the thing that you have to think about is if you are trying to be a music educational channel that is faith-based and targeting people that are wanting to learn how to, play, those specific songs and things like that, then in that case, that's a good fit for a single channel. Same exact thing on like sharing your thoughts and things like that. But keep in mind, even with sharing your thoughts, the hurdle that you're going to run into there is you're going to have people that are subscribing to your YouTube channel because they want to learn how to play the music, and you're going to share your thoughts about, like you're going to publish a specific video about like your thoughts on something, and some of those people might click on it. But if they're coming there to learn about how to play the music, then in that particular case, a lot of people probably won't click on that. And it goes the other way too. So if you have people that are subscribing because of your thoughts, and they're like, wow, I love their perspective on this, and they make things, sound, and they explain things in a way that makes sense or whatever, then in that particular case, when you publish the guitar content, then there you might have some problems as well, because those people might not even play instruments, right? So because of that, I would get clear on who it is that you're trying to serve with your content, who your target audience is, and exactly what it is that you plan to offer them, which is part of your question here. But basically, the thing that you want to think about on your channel is like, okay, if I'm going to be publishing a bunch of content on my channel over time, let's say I'm going to be publishing 100 videos on my YouTube channel or 500 videos on my YouTube channel, then in that particular case, what's the likelihood of a person that watches video number 2 also watching video 10 and 25 or 4 or whatever, versus like I've got covers over here, and then I've got how-to videos over here, and then I have like thought videos over here, and then I have additional thoughts on other faith-based topics. Like it just dilutes what's happening there. So because of that, I would pick one and roll with that, or just split it up between 2 different channels if it was me. Fluent American says, how did Nick fix the ATEM Mini cam switch issue months ago? So I'm not sure on which issue that was. I know that some issues that we've had with the ATEM was more related, for me personally, was more related to a glitch happening on the screen. So basically, like how you can see the screen right now, there would be this like green glitchy type of band that would show up at the bottom while I was streaming. So it kept happening. So it would happen with the ATEM Mini, and it also happened to another model of the ATEM Mini, a different device, but same thing. And then it also happened with the ATEM Mini Extreme. So because it was a continual problem, what I did with the Extreme so that it wouldn't happen anymore was, instead of using the USB to pull the signal in to the computer, I use a cam link from Elgato, and then I plug that into the computer, and then I do the HDMI out of the ATEM and have it going into the cam link. And then since I've done that on every ATEM, I have 0 of that glitching problem. In terms of the camera switching itself, I haven't had problems with camera switching. Before that, I'll use like macros if I'm at home and I'm doing a stream there where D is not there, changing cameras and stuff. I have macros that I'll use. If you have one, then you have the software, you're familiar with that. But I haven't had any real issues there. But we did have an issue of things getting hot here, to where for whatever reason, because we record some of the answers and things like that, so we were having problems with things just kind of being weird there. And in order to fix that, D just switched computers, and since he switched computers, it hasn't been an issue. So I'm not exactly sure what caused the problem, but the other computer that we were using, it just it continued to have the problem. So we just tried a different computer and it worked fine. So we've just rolled with that computer since. So hopefully that helps. Shark Trapper says, so D is a macro. Oh, that's funny. Shark Trapper just called you a macro, D. Yep. That's funny. But okay, so next up, we've got, hey, Melinda, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing fantastic. So next up, we've got Yeah, just as a heads up, just to kind of finalize that question, Fluent American. So on that, like the way that we fixed it was to, just do a new computer because we were just trying to, just fix it, move on. It doesn't really matter which computer we use to stream stuff here. So it was just kind of like, hey, let's just do a different computer. It's working here, an afterthought. But if we were going to continue to, try to solve the problem, then the very first thing I would do is just make sure that the firmware is up to date on the ATEM. I would also look around on the internet to see if people are having problems with a recent firmware update, because you might have to roll it back to a previous one or something like that. And then, of course, make sure everything's updated on the computer and all of that. All the drivers are up to date. That would be the next step that I would take there if you're having, those issues. My name is Nick. It says, who's the person's present in the show? Yeah, so I'm Nick. Is me. Doug is also here in the chat. So I'm Nick, and then my brother D, who's going to be back on camera here shortly. His name is D. So next up, we've got the Dream Builder 21. Dream Builder 21 does daily content. They have an automotive channel. The goal of the channel is entertaining people to distract them with my projects and the journey. And the question is, do you have any advice for motivation to keep going? Absolutely. So, like I said before, like sustainability as a content creator, like if you want to, do this for, a long period of time, one of the things that you have to get figured out is also motivation, right? So when it comes to motivation, the thing that I've found seems to work the best is just having like a clear reason that you're doing it. So, in a lot of cases, a meaningful reason, not clear, but a meaningful reason that you're doing it. So like in a lot of cases, people will start YouTube channels because, it's a hobby and they just want to share that hobby. And they'll share that hobby. It'll be mission accomplished, and they'll grow the channel. But then once they've shared that hobby and they have like a good community around it, then it's like, okay, well, I did the thing, right? Like I'm sharing my love for this with other people, but it just becomes stale at that point. And then they have to find other things that are meaningful to them to kind of wrap everything around. Same exact thing happens when it's like, okay, I'm starting the channel to make money. Well, once you start making money, then in that particular case, at a certain point, when you're like, hey, I've made some good money here, then in that case, that might run out of that as the motivating factor. So because of that, one thing that I found helpful is to take the motivation. I mean, of course, there's always going to be things that you want from your YouTube channel, right? Because there's an exchange, but taking like that main pressure from yourself and thinking like, okay, yes, I'm going to benefit from this, but what can I do for other people through my content? And like, how can I also impact other people through my content? And by doing that and getting some type of personal mission behind what it is that you're, trying to do there, that can also be something that I found to be helpful in terms of staying motivated. And then other things too, like if you're like, hey, I am trying to do this to get money and I'm not there yet, then in that particular case, one thing that is also helpful is being very specific and tracking everything. So for example, is if you're trying to get money from your YouTube channel, for those of you that are trying to go full time and just trying to use this as like a side hustle maybe or something like that, then in that particular case, get a calendar out and say, okay, this is, how much money. Well, first, before you do the calendar, say, okay, this is how much money that I would like to be earning from my YouTube channel. And that can be something that you may deem as realistic, or it could be something that you deem as unrealistic in your current, mind state or mindset. But basically write down, like, this is what I want to, achieve on my YouTube channel in terms of income. It could be broken down monthly or yearly or whatever. But then you say, okay, well, if this is what I'm trying to achieve, then what does that actually look like over the course of a month or over the course of a year? So for example, if you're like, okay, I want to get $100 a month off of YouTube, then you have to say, okay, well, how do content creators in my space make money that would actually facilitate me being able to generate $100 a month? And how many of those things specifically am I currently applying to what it is that I'm doing? And if you're like, okay, I'm not applying any of this stuff, then in that case, if you want to make $100, you need to have some things in place in order to be able to do that if you're trying to do it outside of ads. So then because of that, then you're like, okay, well, maybe some people are, doing crowdfunding. Well, then in that particular case, maybe you want to add that to your list, and maybe you'll generate $20 for crowdfunding, but then that only leaves you $80 left to get that $100, extra per month. So then you're like, okay, well, I got $80 left because I've got, people giving me $20. So now maybe I'm going to also get some type of affiliate marketing place. And then let's say that that's generating now like, another $20 or $50 a month. Then now you're up to, 70, 80 bucks a month. And you're like, okay, now I got 20 bucks to go. So I either need to double down on what it is that's currently working, or maybe I need to introduce something else that I can make money from. And then you just kind of keep building it up from there. And then once you have all of that stuff in place, the dollar amounts that you're trying to hit, and you break it down on a, if it's yearly, then you break it down on a monthly basis. If it's like a long-term thing, like a 5-year goal, then in that case, you break it down yearly and then monthly, so you can start to get an idea of what it is that you have to accomplish. And then from there, one thing that I personally did is when I was like, okay, when it comes to YouTube, like I'm trying to, make money from this. So because of that, I started writing down, because I monetize my channel in a bunch of different ways. So what I did is I would actually, I had a calendar, like a printed calendar. It wasn't digital, but I had a printed calendar, and I would start writing down the days that income would come in. And it'd be like, hey, an affiliate sale for $5. Great, right? I got a $5 commission on this, or a $100 commission on this, or whatever. And every time I would get a notification of a payment of some kind that happened because of my YouTube channel, then I would just write it down in the calendar. And when I first started doing that, right, because it was when I was first starting to monetize everything, when I first started doing that, it was like, okay, we got the whole month, and all I got was, whatever it was, the $80 that I got from my, YouTube ad revenue, right? So it's like, okay, well, we put that $80 down around the 21st, right? Because that's when payouts are. So then, from there, it went from like, okay, now, so I had that $80, for that first month. And then from there, it's like, okay, now, the next month, oh, hey, I got $5 here. I got $8 here. I got, $100 here from this, affiliate thing or whatever. And then next thing you know, all these little, all these days, they start filling up. And then in some cases, it gets to the point to where you'll have, some days that may not generate anything, but then you'll have some days that, a lot of stuff comes in. But then you start, just kind of tracking things over time. You're like, okay, I'm seeing progress, which is motivating by itself, but it also lets you know if you're heading in the right direction or not, so that you can identify, is there stuff that I need to change? Is there new ideas or new ways that I need to figure out in order to, generate that income? So, when you're trying to stay motivated when it comes to YouTube, for whatever it is, finding the reason, and then also getting extremely clear on that thing that you're trying to accomplish, and figuring out the way to track it so that you can, know if you're heading in the right direction or not, is a fantastic way to stay motivated. Because here's the thing. If you are somebody that's starting a YouTube channel and it's something that you do on the side, life, there's always stuff, right? There's always stuff. Even when you do it professionally, there's always stuff. Even when you have a normal job, there's always stuff, right? So because of that, it's important to find those things that, that will make it to where you're like, hey, there's this thing going on, tonight, and I could go do that. Or because of these things that I'm trying to accomplish, maybe I need to just focus on that, for tonight, and see if I can, figure out how to, accelerate my way towards that, or do a little bit more work than I would normally do in order to try to make that thing possible. But when you have that clarity, in terms of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, or the impact that you're trying to make, then it makes everything that you do so much easier, because then it's like you have a reason to do everything, right? But if you're just like, hey, let's just upload some videos and just kind of see how it goes, then there's no real reason to keep going outside of just like, hey, let's just continue just seeing how things go. But if you're like, hey, I'm trying to get this or accomplish this, and then impact people in this way, or get in front of these companies so that maybe, or position myself in some way so that maybe I can, work with some other companies in the future or something like that, then in that case, you have that, that very clear thing that you're after. And from my experience, that can be, really motivating. So Every Song Ever says, my channel does about $100 a month, but I never make it to the AdSense cutoff date of the 21st. So it's $200 every 2 months. Yeah. So like in that case, that's another one when it comes to AdSense, right? But one of the things that's really important to remember as a YouTube content creator is that, ads, you can make a like crazy life-changing amounts of money from ads. So, a lot of people will kind of dump on ads and be like, oh, well, don't even consider ads and blah, blah, blah. But, depending on the type of content that you make, it is possible to make life-changing money just with YouTube ad revenue. However, everything happens faster if you say, okay, what are all the different ways that I can monetize as a content creator? And then you get all of them in place and you're doing all of the things. Then in that case, you might have one video that you publish that generates 10 times more money than you're getting from your ad revenue. Right? Like as an affiliate or something like that. So, so because of that, just make sure that you're always being mindful, about what it is that you're doing and all of that.
What number are you on now?
I am on number 18, moving to 19.
Wow. You got through 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm talky.
That you
Yep,
are.
I'm talky. So next up, we've got Irvine Mesa. Irvine Mesa, hope you're doing great, says they do web coding tutorials. The goal is to teach beginners to web development the skills needed to succeed in a career for web developers. And the question is, hey, Nick, just noticed on my YouTube studio, I have new views coming from YouTube advertising. May you please kindly assist me on how YouTube is doing this? And please, may you advise me on the best strategy to grow from 1,000 subs to 10,000 subs. So in terms of the YouTube advertising, you do have a check mark in there. So if you go in and you figure out which videos, if you go into your analytics, then you can figure out your traffic sources there for YouTube advertising. You can see the videos. So what you want to do is, if you don't want that to happen, because some companies and stuff, they'll advertise on your videos if you're promoting their stuff, or they'll advertise, they'll run ads, with your videos if you're promoting their stuff. So if you don't want that to happen, there's a checkbox now that you can check that that will make it where they can't do that.
Tell them where the checkbox is.
It's in your, I think it's in your edit details page. Yeah, I don't ever turn it on. I don't care if they run ads on my videos.
And I do not think it's available inside the YT Studio.
In the app. No,
right.
not yet.
It's not available in the app yet that I'm aware of. They
Yeah.
keep adding a ton of stuff to that. I don't think it's in there yet.
Yeah. And also on the next part on, growing from 1,000 subs to 10,000 subs, first figure out what your community responds to best, right? In terms of your content types, the easiest way to do that is by using the grouping feature in your YouTube analytics. Basically take your content, which you should be doing this anyway, but take your content and divide your content up into, the different pillars of content that you make. And then you want to compare them against each other in your grouping feature, figure out the things that people respond to at the highest level based on the goals that you're trying to accomplish with your channel at this moment in time, and then double down on that content, lose the one, or just, you don't have to lose it, but just experiment with something else as well. Like always be running experiments on your channel with different stuff. Like right now, I'm starting to walk down the road for my experiment for AI stuff for content creators, just because it's hot right now, right? Like I'd be foolish not to. So because of that, one of the things that I'm, just experimenting with to see how you guys respond to it is AI stuff. The last video crushed, but the next one we'll see, over the next like 10 videos, we'll see how you guys respond to them. But that's an experiment I'm running. If you respond well, then I'll keep doing them. Maybe I'll double down on them for a while. But if you're like, hey, that first one was great, but we don't really care about the rest of them, then in that case, I'll kill that series and then I'll keep working on something else and then experiment with, something else.
Well, there's something else that happens there too that obviously you're going to be the ultimate decider on. That is, as you make different types of content that's normal to your channel, you could bring in an entirely new audience. To where your existing audience says, yeah, we're not really into that, but your new audience, the people that are coming in, says, yeah, we're eating this stuff up. Right. So there's that trade-off that you gotta.
Yeah, that's where that like the new and returning viewer thing is helpful too.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that video bringing in a lot of new viewers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It brought a lot of people back too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something different. For my channel, it's something different. So it brought a lot of people back, and it's pushed me heavily into new viewers also.
People get bored.
Sure.
And I'm not just...
Well, there's also the side of just graduating, essentially, right? So it's like, okay, well, like at a certain point, like in the live streams, we explore different, topics and things like that.
Right.
But when it comes to video content, I have, just some core things that I typically talk about. And then I'll just kind of, recycle some of that stuff with new ideas and, updated things based on any changes that YouTube's made and, things like that. But after, like, if somebody's been watching my content since 2014, then they've probably
like 5
seen...
videos. You've made 5 videos.
It's more than that. But they've probably seen
6.
At least... probably 15 videos on, like getting views on YouTube, right? Yeah. So because of that, when something new is introduced, it's like, oh, hey, what's this? Yeah.
Well, it's cool though. Like people get bored.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool to mix up and throw some and it's still relevant to your channel.
Yeah.
It's still hitting
Creator
the same
focused, right.
creator market, the same creator demographic. You're just spinning it in a different way that they're not used to, right? So it's bringing those people back. It's bringing new people in. What's going to be interesting is the new people that you bring in, are they only interested in AI? Or are they also interested in growing a YouTube channel?
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how those people respond to videos about
Right.
growing your channel. And
Yeah, like for me, like with that in mind, like that AI video, that's why I had in there making a YouTube background, right?
Right.
So then that way, like the people that'll be watching that, I mean, some people will click on it because it looks interesting on the hover,
Right.
but like the people that are clicking into that are likely going to be content creators in some way if they're interested in like a background, right?
Yeah.
So I just have to make sure, like the workaround that, just for everybody that's watching this, like the workaround for that I have to keep in mind in that experiment to keep that from happening is I have to make sure that I'm framing things around content creators, right? So when I'm at the topic level, then I think, okay, how can I write a title for this that's going to mostly get content creators clicking on this, right? That's the idea. Let's see here. So trying to learn bikes. It's the next one, D.
I love that
They
name.
upload when they have time. They do motorcycle maintenance content. The goal of the channel is to upload videos to help people learn how to do DIY motorcycle maintenance. The question is it okay to use a snippet, about 3 to 5 seconds, of other creators' videos to reference a specific point in my video, or is that a violation of YouTube policy? So I recommend that you, like, yes, you can react to videos. Yes, if you're like, this creator said this, right? Then in that particular case, technically, there is something when it comes to copyright called fair use. It doesn't mean that you're going to automatically, fall under fair use. But, that usually helps content creators get away with some stuff, but it's very specific to how you're using the content. So for example, like there's a lot of videos that you're going to see out there that will have a thing that they're doing, and then they'll stop it, and then they'll throw like Will Ferrell in there.
Yeah.
And then he adds like a joke, and the way that they're using it isn't in fair use. They're actually using it to kind of emphasize what they did, and they're not actually like transforming it in any way or anything like that. So so because of that, a lot of people do take the wrong approach there. I believe that long term, eventually YouTube systems or a law maybe is going to get passed or whatever that will, put a lot of those channels in hot water, but we'll see. But, you just have to be really mindful. What were you going to say, D?
I was gonna say I'm not gonna name them. There's a really large million plus channel that was doing it. Technically, I think it falls under fair use, but they were using other people's content under fair use, and it wasn't done in a favorable manner. And they've been burned alive. They've hit them just like they did a series. And then that channel that they were talking about just came in and just like, I don't know if they actually lost. Last I heard, I think they might have gotten terminated.
Oh.
So I don't know if they're, So
So no joke. It's a risk. Anytime you use something like that, it's a
Yeah.
risk. A lot of people get away with it, but that doesn't mean that that you will.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of people use memes, right? Here's the thing: the law is this: if you don't own it or have a license to use it, you technically can't use it. But a lot of people, you can get away. People they use memes all the time. 2 seconds here, 3 seconds here. There's no rule, and this is a big misconception that gets shared. Well, if you only use 3 seconds, it's legal. No, that's not.
Right.
You can't legally use 1 second.
Technically, you can't use a screenshot.
Technically
Yeah.
speaking, but people get away with it all the
Right.
time. But in terms of using other people's clips, if it's done in fair use, you have to keep in mind that if the owner of that content tries to give you a claim or tries to give you a strike, YouTube does give you the option when you try to appeal that or dispute that, and you can say that it's fair use. However, YouTube cannot make the decision and say, oh yeah, it is fair use. It just gets marked as fair use. It goes back to the actual claimant, the person who's claiming you, and then they can decide if it's fair use or not. YouTube cannot determine for you if it's fair use.
Yep.
So
Because it's a legal issue. As soon as
Right.
that's submitted,
right.
then
A
it-
court
then
can
it becomes
decide that,
illegal.
but YouTube
Yep.
can't decide this. It's just something to be mindful of. A lot of people do it. They put memes out there and that sort of thing. But just be aware of the risk as you're getting into that.
Rural Overlanding Studios, our next question. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They have a nomad rural travel and events channel. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, best ideas to grow a channel with 47 subscribers. Great question. Get clear on, you don't need to record.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I used the trigger word there. Sorry. Yeah, what you need to do is you need to get clear. I knew that was going to happen, right? Knew it.
I've been waiting for
Yeah.
2 hours.
Right. So, so you need to get clear on who it is that you're serving with your content. You need to get very clear on what it is that you want out of your YouTube channel, and then from there, you need to learn all the skills required to do all this stuff. So you got to learn how to edit videos effectively. You got to learn how to make thumbnails effectively. You got to learn how to write titles effectively. To learn how to do those things for editing, I recommend that you watch a lot of Hellier Smith content. He's like next level when it comes to editing. He edits for, huge, YouTube channels. He's Logan Paul's editor, but like, and other, some other large channels as well. But he gets into a lot of like really deep concepts with what it is that he does. That helps explain a lot of the nuance, because when it comes to editing videos, it's not just about like, hey, I just cut this here and I'm just cutting out the silence. There's a lot more to it when it comes to, getting people to watch for longer periods of time and things like that. And it's beyond just, cutting the videos. But you want to, make sure you're educating yourself on that. Make sure you're watching videos on design as well, because when you start learning about design, you start learning about how, people respond to colors. You start learning like what colors represent. You start learning how to direct people's eyes to certain things in your thumbnails based on the colors that you're using. You can also apply some of this to your videos as well sometimes. You also learn about like, white space, or, the space that you need around, images and things like that, or just elements in the design. You learn what too much is versus, enough, where, everything has, enough space and everything's positioned, in the way that it should. So you want to watch, content around that. You also want to watch, concept or videos on like photography and videography concepts like framing and rule of thirds and things like that. You need to watch videos on presentation and public speaking and communication and all of those types of things, which I listed some of those early, so I won't go, into that too much. But you just want to make sure that you're educating yourself on all the skills involved with this.
Next.
And keep in mind, if you can get 47 subscribers and they're organic, then you can get 470, you can get 4,700, you can get, it just keeps going up, right? It's just the amount of time between, now and then, and, the amount of, skills that you develop in the process to accelerate things.
Next.
Number 22, for the record.
record.
We've got, let's see here. The channel name is Exploration, and Abandoned Mines is the type of channel.
Of Abandoned Mines.
And Miner 49er is the name of the channel. So they do, the goal is sharing a hobby and interest. And the question is, I'm wanting to offer memberships, but I just don't know what to offer. I don't have enough video footage to use as membership folder or fodder. What are some ideas for motivating people to join a channel membership? So in some cases, access to you can be the thing. Yeah. So like, since you are sharing like a hobby, in that particular case, like if you can, like in your case, because you're like exploring things. So since you're exploring things, then maybe, in your case specifically, you could do something like,
I've got somebody. Go ahead.
Yeah, go.
No, I'm sorry,
go.
I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. Go.
Okay, so yeah, so you could have like you could do Q&As, right? You could just do Q&As with your members where they have access to you. They can ask you questions. They can talk about your gear. You could offer them maps of the places that you explore, right? You can maybe get maps together, offer them the maps. You could offer them behind the scenes. You say you currently don't have extra footage, but you can start filming behind the scenes footage. You can talk more about your gear. You can just like before you get ready to go out to explore a mine, you could do a live stream where your community comes in. You can talk about all the things you're packing and why you're packing these particular tools, right? Think about it from a viewer's perspective. And I don't know what type of videos you're making in terms of how you actually put your videos together, but think about it from a viewer's perspective and say, when you were first getting started, before you explored your first abandoned mine, what questions would you have to someone who's experienced in exploring abandoned mines? And if you had access to those people, what would you want to hear? What questions would you have for that person, and how would you want them to set that up? That's what you can do for your members. You have anything? Anything to add?
I'm just adding a link here. So I'm dropping Hayden's YouTube channel here. The Hellier Smith is the actual like handle for it. But I just dropped his link in there for all of you that are interested in like editing, video editing, and learning how to be a better video editor. Christina Smallhorn, what's going on? Hope you are doing fantastic. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Christina. Hey, Justin. How you doing? Nice to see you guys. And ladies.
Dark Bite says, you'd previously mentioned doing a video/course on best practices for growing a long-form interview channel. Can you link to it, please? It's called Pod Sound School. I'm not sure if they still have it in there or not, but you are more than welcome to go check them out and see exactly if that particular course is still in there. But if you just go to podsoundschool.com, that will take you there. But even with them, right? Because they're doing they're doing like podcasts, and teaching people about podcasting and like how to grow your podcast online, which is similar to the interview thing. So just interacting with their content anyway will be beneficial for you. Let's see here. So next up, we got Miner 49er taken care of. So next up, we've got Christine's Routines. Christine's Routines. They upload ones. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do urban homesteading. The goal of the channel is to be a successful creator with a goal of a book published. And the question is, does it really make a difference to older videos and shorts if you utilize AI suggestions and change titles and or tags? Does it put them back in the algorithm? Should we change the category? So your videos never leave the algorithms. That's the first thing to keep in mind. And when it comes to people talking about like hitting the algorithm and stuff like that, that concept isn't really like a reality. Like the framing is inaccurate. So what's actually happening there is just people are responding to your videos. And then when people stop the response based on larger groups of people interacting with the content, then it slows the content down, right? Because people aren't responding to it at the level that they were in the past. So that's how that kind of goes down. But when you change your title and or thumbnail, that can cause things to change. It could help you or it could hurt you. But if you make updates to your title and thumbnail, it changes the expectation that people have when they're going into the video. It can also change if it grabs their attention or not. So because of that, a title and thumbnail change can definitely impact a video. So that would be step one. When it comes to the tags, I wouldn't even worry about messing with that because that's not really going to matter. In terms of changing the performance of the video, because people don't know the tags on the way in, right? And you're making content for people, not for artificial intelligence. So because of that, the tags aren't going to matter in that regard. But if you change the title because you're using like TubeSpanner, for example, or TubeBuddy, and they recommend a title to you that is like way better than the title that you currently have, you can definitely experiment with it and see if it causes people to respond in a better way. If it does, then good move. If not, then it's fine. You just you made the change and you can change it back if you want to. Next up, D, we're on number 24 right now.
Yep. Okay.
So we got Bradley McKnight. Bradley McKnight is an official artist channel. The goal of the channel is to build a fan base around my music. And the question is, this is a really long one. So I'm going to see if I can summarize this. Hey, Nick and D.
Hey.
I'm an independent artist. I upload my videos to YouTube. I recently uploaded a video of one of my singles, which first got 580 views in the first few days after publishing. However, a few days ago, I went to the YouTube mobile app to check its progress and noticed the views had decreased to 380. I immediately checked the YouTube Studio app, and it still said 580 views. Now, even YouTube Studio app says 380. First, just make sure that your date range is the same, because sometimes people will look at a date range, like in one, and then they'll look at it in another one in a different date range, and they'll see different numbers. But in addition to that, keep in mind that just based on YouTube's reporting, sometimes you'll see something different, and this happens like even directly within the system. Like if you look at your view count, for example, like from the outside in your Creator Studio, like you just look at it in your list of content, and then you go and you look at it in your real time. It's often that you'll see different numbers there too on a video that's getting a lot of views. So so that's just like a normal thing when it comes to YouTube. But
yeah. Sorry.
It says, I got my friends and family to check out their YouTube app just in case I had a bug in my app and account, and they noticed it as well. Okay, so you're looking at it from the outside. So a couple things. YouTube verifies views to make sure that the views that are coming in are not fraudulent in any way, to make sure they're real people, stuff like that. So they also look for things like, let's say that I sent my video to D, and I was like, hey, D, check out this video. And he was like, hey, I'm going to try to hook Nick up. So I'm going to just open this up in a bunch of different browser windows, and I'm going to just let it play.
That's how we grew your channel.
It is.
Yeah, that's how we grew your channel to 800,000 subscribers.
Right, just by doing that. Just a bunch of browser windows. That's the secret, everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
You cannot fathom the amount of tabs I have open right now. Right. It's unbelievable.
But what happens is YouTube detects that, and they're like, okay, basically this user is just watching this video from a bunch of different browsers, so therefore those extra views will actually get removed over time. So they validate views in that way. But says I've also never gotten 500 views in this short amount of time. Before this boost in publicity from the news article I was featured in. Does YouTube suspect that I'm buying views? No, external traffic is fine. So like, for example, if you get like some type of news publication, if you have like a blog that, links to you, or some type of, news website or something, or even other social media accounts. Like let's say that you have a Twitter following, and when you publish, or let's say you post a video and Mr. Beast retweets it, then in that particular case, that's still all valid traffic for the people that are coming in there and enjoying that content, for the flood of people that you would get, from that particular tweet. So, so all that stuff is fine.
Yeah, and I'm seeing here that you're a music creator and you're on YouTube. I don't know. I'm looking at your channel right here, and I'm not going to go into a channel review, but I just want to let you know that and my apologies if you are you've got a fan base somewhere and you're new to YouTube. In terms of your YouTube titles, rethink what you're doing with your titles. Like, you're putting your name in all of your titles, and you're putting like the name of the song in your titles. Like, for example, Your Love 9 p.m. by Bradley McKnight. That doesn't say much to an audience. Here's what I want you to do. Go into YouTube and start searching for songs by mood, right? Type in like songs that make me feel sad, songs that make me feel empowered, songs that make me feel like sleeping, whatever. And songs that give me energy. And you're going to find an entire world of YouTube channels who are absolutely crushing it. In a world where people are using emotions instead of titles that people don't understand, right? So what they're doing is they're titling their songs based on moods, right? Go research that and rethink how you're making your titles, because right now people are not going to be able to find you. It doesn't make sense to them. But if you start shaping your titles around, in the thumbnails, the mood, shape it. If you start shaping the titles and the thumbnails around the mood that you're trying to convey with that actual track, then that starts making sense to people who don't know you yet. If it just shows up in my feed, right? If I'm just open up YouTube one day and I'm just scrolling and Stuck on You by Bradley McKnight shows up, it means nothing to me, right? But if I'm scrolling and there's a really good thumbnail on there that's kind of melancholy, and it says this song guarantees to make you cry. Or something like that. This song will remind you of your ex. Whoa, what is this like, about? No way. No, yeah. And then you hit it. Way. Right? Yeah, right? You see where I'm going with that? Think about moods. Now, once you establish...
Love that TikTok guy, by the way.
Yeah. No way. Once you establish your fan base and people start to know who you are as a musician, then you can start getting a little bit more loose with how you do things and start adding your name to it. But by all means, put your name in the tag, put your name in the descriptions, but just rethink about how you can find that original audience. How you're doing it right now is going to be the hard way. Anything to add to that?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, so next up, we've got Andy Gray. Andy Gray, the goal of the channel is to make videos that help develop myself and others. The question is, I have an old filmmaking channel with nearly 600 subscribers, but I'd like to change it to the personal development niche. Do I unlist or rebrand, or do I start a whole brand new channel? If it's an old channel, I would just make a new channel. But if you're like, I for whatever reason, I'm like connected to this one, I would still start a new channel. So yeah, I would just start a new channel and just build from the ground up. I mean, technically with your filmmaking channel, I mean, it's still like, because you have like 600 subscribers, I don't know how many views you have. But because it's something completely unrelated to what it is that you are going to be moving into, I would just start a new channel. Next, 26. We've got $1 American. They do daily content. The type of channel is money reviews, and the goal of the channel is to future monetize. And the question is, any ideas for a money notes review? No, I'm not sure what you mean in terms of money notes. Like, do you mean cash like you're money. Looking at like cash, like you're looking at like actual paper bills and you're just like reviewing them? Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never done anything with that type of content, even as a viewer. So like, I'm not really sure. Do you have any suggestions, D?
I was just typing something to my C Prince. What was the question?
Basically, they're reviewing money, and they're just wanting to know if we have any ideas for the review.
They're reviewing money.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, money notes.
They're like coin collectors, like currency collectors.
Yeah, if it's like paper money, yeah, like coins, then in that case, I guess. But in terms of like reviewing them, I'm not sure.
Like, are you reviewing like antique notes or something like that?
Yeah,
I would probably need more
I would say
detail.
like showcasing versus reviewing might be the thing. Because like when it comes to like okay, you're gonna review like $100 bill.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're like putting it under like literally a microscope and like things like that, I'm not really sure.
Without, I was gonna say, without knowing what the channel is and what they're actually doing, that's a tough one for me to answer.
Yeah.
Because I could go off on a tangent and be just completely wrong about what they're doing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you put some more information in there. Legal-minded friends, Karen Cole says, "How about a song to forget about your ex?" Right? See, that's how you gotta.
Yep.
Everything has changed for creators, especially musicians. You got to think about what people are actually looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to know what exactly they're doing with the cash. Apologies for that I can't give you an answer right out of the gate. But there's, are you counterfeiting stuff? What are you doing? Right? Like, I'm going to show you how to make fake $100 bills.
So next up, we have Aimed Music, which is another music win here. The goal of the channel is to spread classical and gospel music throughout the world. I make music videos with my cello outside in the wilderness. I'm going there right now. Hold on.
Let's check it out. What's it called?
I love this type of content.
What's it called?
Aimed Music.
Aimed?
Yep.
Spell it.
AIMED.
Aimed Music.
Yep. Oh, nice. This is cool. So there
is it the couple up here in the header? 11 subscribers?
No, 251 subscribers, 49 videos.
Aimed, AIMED Music?
Yep. I'm already subscribed to it. That's funny.
Get out of here.
Yep, already
there it
subscribed.
is.
Yep.
Nope, that's not that one. There's multiple Aimed Music.
Oh, nice.
I'm on number 2 right now, looking for number 3. Where's it at?
Yeah, so this one, they're doing like Star Spangled Banner and stuff like that. So there's something that I've been on here that I've watched that I've subscribed for.
Aimed
yeah, that's
Music
cool.
Cello.
Okay, so
weird.
let's get back to
them.
the question. So the question is,
I can't find them.
it's like okay. So the question is, in my case, since I'm a music channel and the music is the main product of my videos, what would be the best way to get people to subscribe? Amazing music. That's it. Like, okay, like I'm somebody that watches content like yours, and for me, the music has to like hit me right. So like, okay, like for the songs that you're making right now, like you have like Ode to Joy and like, stuff like that. That's cool, right? Totally cool. And that particular one's like a 5-hour, loop. You have like Come All Ye Faithful and stuff like that. Like those are, all of that's good. But like making something that is along those lines to pull people in, and then also offering, if you're not doing this already, music that you make that's meaningful to you, is a great path for that. Like for me personally, I usually don't subscribe to channels, and like I said, I watch your type of content. I usually don't subscribe to YouTube channels that are making like that type of content unless they are just like next level with it or doing something unique. So by unique, I mean like D references quite a bit. There's like a channel on TikTok that blew up by, what did they take? They turned something lo-fi. It was like pop music into lo-fi or something.
A guy, he blew up on TikTok and it carried over to YouTube. Mm-hmm. He was taking classical music and he was taking popular covers and turning them into lo-fi beats.
Okay. So that's
just
like a unique offering, right? It's a unique offering. So he was still leveraging the same thing that you're doing and saying like, hey, these are, popular songs that people know. So he was still leveraging that, but he was transforming them in a way to make it something a completely unique experience. And the reason considering taking that approach is important is because if you are just like replaying the songs, in that particular case, anybody can just, replay the songs that has that skill set. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to take that song, like I'm going to take like really popular songs that are not, classical songs, that are not, something that a cello would ever be in. And I'm going to do like a really awesome cello version of it and like that would be what I would be experimenting with as a means to try to stand out. So I would do that, and I would find like really popular stuff that's hitting right now, and learn how to do like a really cool popular stuff that fits the people that you're trying to reach, right? The music they would be listening to, that you align with. And I would be making just like, cello versions of that stuff. And I would make sure that it was stuff that, the cello just wouldn't normally be appropriate for it. And you'd take it and make a cool version as a cello.
Yeah. And okay, so this is a little bit on the extreme.
Because standing out is really important.
This is a little bit extreme, and the music video she made for it was extreme. So I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just talking about in terms of timing. And if you're a cello player, you're probably, and I'm probably going to say her last name wrong. You're probably aware of a musician by the name of Tina. It's either Zhao or Gao. Tina Gao or Tina Zhao. I'm not sure how she pronounces her last name. But she's a cello player for Hans Zimmer. And obviously she's popular out of the gate, right? She's playing with Hans Zimmer. But she hit her moment and kind of blew up. Remember when the first Wonder Woman movie came out?
Yes.
She made her own. She's a cello player in that, right? So it's a Hans Zimmer soundtrack. So she made her own music video.
Yeah.
She made her own music video to the Wonder Woman soundtrack at that time. And she hit it right when the movie was coming out. Nice. I mean, it was a wild video. It was amazing. The whole thing was just amazing, packaging and all. But it was the timing of that. She did the track, and it was her anyway, but she did her own version of it. And she's done that a couple of times. She does these 2 other things that are coming out. So as a cello player, you can hit, like, movies are coming out. What's the Indiana Jones theme song that you just did make a video about?
Right.
Right? You could have done something with that, like your own version, right? You could have went to some cave somewhere. I almost hummed it. I almost hummed it. Nice. Right? Like you could have went into a cave somewhere and done the Indiana Jones theme. So like start thinking about, what's trending, what's coming up, right? Right now you've got Ahsoka getting ready to play on Disney. Does she have a theme song? What's the Star Wars stuff? People are going to be looking for all the Star Wars stuff on Disney. What's the new Marvel's, what's the guy with the patch? What's his name?
I have no idea.
Well, they got his show on Disney now. Samuel Jackson. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, man. I'm
you
mentally just taxed.
You understand where I'm going with this, right?
I didn't even think we'd make it this far in the stream.
Okay.
So
you understand where I'm going with this, right? You're a cello player. Grab on to trending events and make videos for them and do your versions of them as they're coming out. You're probably going to have copyright issues. Just know that going in, but it's something to think about.
Nick Fury, that's it.
Nick Fury, thank you. Yeah, but people are using that technique to actually get out there and get in front of people because people are looking for those things. Ooh, what's the Indiana Jones theme song? Boom. There you go.
Another thing too is there's a channel, and it's not exactly what you do, but there's a YouTube channel called Reinhardt Burr. It's spelled REINHARDT space BUHR. He's a live looper, but cello is a big part of what he does as well. And in his particular case, one of the things that really helped him stand out, initially, was that he was using live looping with his cello, but he was doing it in just like a public square, right? So basically, he would just go to like his town or whatever, and he was basically busking to where he would just go to like his town square, and he would set up right there, and he would do this stuff live, and he's so good that it just it just drew a crowd, and people were liking him in real time, when he was actually doing it. But watching his videos on YouTube, you also get a sense of that, like, oh, okay, we got like energy building up, we got the crowd building and all that, because of the setting that he used in that case, and that helped. But what he was making, though, it sounds unique, right? Yeah. So because of that, that's one of the things that also helped him stand out. In his case, he wasn't doing like covers and things like that. Everything that he was doing, was just like crazy unique and like really cinematic sounding for, like that. Clearly it's what he's into. But, I recommend that you just check him out just as like, an alternative for, just some, maybe you can, get an idea or two, while you're over there.
Yeah.
So on that note, it's about that time.
Clock on the wall says it's late here.
It does. So really quick, I want to let everybody know that here in about 25 minutes, Daryl Eves is also going to be going live. Yep. Wow. Daryl Eves is going to be going live on his YouTube channel, also sharing a lot of, really great YouTube advice over there based on his experience. Daryl is, one of the top people in the space when it comes to YouTube, works with, some of the biggest creators on the platform. So the amount that you can learn from him from just one live stream, is pretty spectacular. So I really recommend that you go and hit the reminder. It's going to automatically default you over there when I end this stream, so you can just hang out for a second. But basically, just go and hang out over there, because you'll learn a ton just by listening, to what it is that he has to say. In addition to that,
I was gonna say, we did not get through all the questions today. We have a lot.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, we didn't get through them all, but we did the best we could.
And in addition to that, I do want to remind all of you that are new to this, like if this is your first stream here, that, when it comes to YouTube, there's a lot of, moving parts to this, and there's a lot of things you got to learn along the way, and a lot of skills you have to develop. But I just always like to drop the reminder at the end of these streams that just remember that it's a learning process, just like anything else that you're going to do. So, there's times where it can be discouraging. There's times where you can be like, man, I'm putting all this effort in here, but, I'm not getting a return yet. Like, is this even worth it? And things like that. I encourage you to just be patient with yourself and the process. And, if you are falling short in some way, in terms of getting the results that you're wanting to get out of your YouTube channel, look internally, because that's where you're going to find the answers, and that's where you're going to, find your way to, make it all happen. And that way is going to present itself through the skills that you develop and the things that you learn and that you apply to what it is that you're doing to your YouTube channel. So just make sure that you do, just remember that you are in that part of the learning curve, and that you, give yourself that, that time that you need. Okay. And on that note, D, great stream.
Awesome stream. Thank you so much.
Yep. Have a great rest of your weekend. And remember that we have links down in the description to our sponsors. We also have links down in the description to a bunch of other helpful YouTube tools and resources. So make sure that you check that out on your way out as well. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.